Hello, fellow followers, and welcome back to the Physical Media Show on FanZcene. And as always, with me is Tom from Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Radio, and
Well,
all things
except for
Midnight's
the
Edge.
1 week where the guy who wrote the canon book shows up. And
Exactly, the 1 week, and that you could have had a great conversation with him too. I'm sure we'll get him back on though. And then Runner Blaze, as always.
What's up?
This guy.
Wow.
What? You don't like my humor? I'm hilarious.
That is like one of the ultimate dad jokes, dude.
I know. I say that to the kids all the time.
Exactly.
And this is coming from a dad. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, your dad's showing.
I know. It's like they're always like, "What's up?" The sky and helicopters.
Probably they ask, like, "What are you up to?" About 5'9". Yeah, I cringe when people say that shit, but that's fine. You're allowed.
Hail to the chat, Brian Barth and Tyrell72 and Tim Hayes. Welcome, guys. Glad you're here and everybody watching. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Am I all good? I'm not glitching out or anything?
So far, so good tonight.
All right, good. Don't want to have any problems here. So, what do you say? We was just going over a little bit in the back.
Yeah, we got some rumors here from the Disc Father and a few other places. We got some announcements, so if you want to get into those,
sure. We'll go first. Like I was talking to you, we're getting a couple Eddie Murphy movies from Paramount, just Paramount. Boomerang and Harlem Nights comes out April 28th. So Boomerang's pretty good, like you said, and Harlem Nights. I always thought, it
has its moments.
It has moments, like I said, Della Reese, where she gets her toe with the knife. That was
just through their Paramount selectors.
Just Paramount Blu-ray, standard Blu-rays.
They're probably just 2K masters, then I imagine.
Yeah, and King Ralph. Is King Ralph Paramount?
No, that's coming from Mill Creek, actually.
Mill Creek, our good friends at Mill Creek.
Our good friends at Mill Creek, and that's a classic one that's been released by all kinds of those cheap label titles, because I think I had the Good Times DVD for years.
Yeah. And then Tootsie is coming to 4K.
It doesn't specify who, if that's going to be, but you know what? I wonder. You know what? I'm going to put myself out there right now, and you can clip this for later, so pay attention to it.
All right.
I'm willing to bet Tootsie is in the third wave of the Columbia box set.
Ooh,
guaranteed.
Clip it, mark it down. We'll say, see, Tom told you all. Mm-hmm. I would say that's probably accurate.
Even though Criterion released it last, I'd bet you $5 because it'll follow just in line with some of the other ones they've done where Criterion has released a 2K version of their 4K master, and that's one of them.
If you're right, you better get that Walton Goggins clip ready.
I fucking knew it. I can send that over to you.
No need, because
you already got it.
I already got it.
I fucking knew it.
Oh, that is like one of my favorite fucking scenes in that movie.
See, Tom, you're not wrong when you said that Walton Goggins was robbed from getting an Oscar for that movie. Like he was so fucking good in that.
Hanging over there. Said no dogs or Mexicans allowed.
That's
down that sign before. You know why that is, Mexican Bob? Because you started to allow dogs in here.
I got a question. Was he even nominated?
I don't think so. I think Samuel might have been, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like he at least should have gotten nominated for that. Like just that clip alone, man.
He took my Big Johnson in his mouth. And he sucked on it.
Holy shit.
I love that movie. It is hilarious.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, what's funny is I just realized, did I tell you guys this? I was listening to an interview with Tarantino, and he talked about how that is basically his version of The Thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a little bit of Reservoir Dogs, but the rest of it's influenced by The Thing. And what's even cooler is because I knew this already.
I could see it.
But yeah, well, he went to Ennio Morricone to do the score, and it's the only film he's ever done that has a original score. Because all his other movies, he steals scores from other movies, mostly Ennio Morricone scores. But hey, so he's like, well, I would steal this guy's scores. Why don't I have him do one? Well, being at his age and he was busy doing some other things because sadly he passed away not too long after the movie came out.
Oh, man.
But he managed to do a few themes for him. But he's like, I don't have the time, but I do have these unused tracks from The Thing. And you're welcome to use them to finish off the soundtrack.
Oh, dang.
He's like, that's perfect because my movie's based on The Thing. So that works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was like, so it's kind of a Tarantino thing, even though it's stuff we never heard before, you know, and that's why Kurt Russell's in the movie and stuff.
Makes
like
that actually makes a lot of sense now.
And somebody's not who they say they are.
Oh yes.
Oh, I love that Hateful Eight, man. You ever see the extended cut runner on Netflix?
I still haven't watched the extended cut on Netflix.
I still haven't seen it. I own the Blu-ray.
I don't know if I could watch the 3-hour version again after seeing that version. It's just so epic.
I'm definitely gonna have to check it out because I think
maybe the reason I haven't seen the extended cut in Netflix is just because I watched the theatrical cut and I thought that was long enough. But whenever I have the time, because as time went on, I've gone to appreciate the movie more, and I'm like, I gotta see the extended cut at some point.
Oh,
me too. I really got to get to that.
In 4K as well. So,
yeah. Well, if you pay Netflix to see 4K,
that is,
yeah.
Because
I think
it's not got a 4K release yet.
Yeah. I mean, my family pays for it, and I think I watched Cobra Kai season 4 on 4K when I got my 4K TV. So yeah, I think I can watch it on 4K.
That's cool. Brian Barth wants to know, do you think Tarantino will stop after 10 movies?
No, I think he just said that as some arbitrary bullshit. He just had a kid, and he even said it himself, kind of the same thing I was thinking how most parents are. They're like, oh, I'm going to be this and that and the other. As soon as your kid gets to the point where they start talking to other people, they start ignoring you, and they don't want anything to do with you. So by the time his kid gets to be like 10, 12, he'll be making more movies again. He even kind of hinted at that. He's like, you never know when my kid gets old enough and whatever,
yeah,
you know, I might have
I'm sorry. He better.
Yeah, they say that a lot.
He better make more movies because that's what cinema needs. Honestly, is more Tarantino movies.
It's like an artist. That's what they do. They're like, I got to stop because I need to take care of my kid, and then my kid's like 15 years old. I got to make another movie.
Yeah, because he's bored.
Yeah. And so yeah, there's that, and
so I think his kid's like 4 or 5 right now. So yeah, like another 5, 6, 7 years, he'll be back to making movies. No problem.
Yeah,
he's writing novels and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, he'll take some time off. I
wish David is the 10th one, but he'll do more than that.
Yeah,
I would love to see him involved with Star Trek, but at this point, Trek is a dead brand.
Yeah, if it wasn't for
people said that,
and all that, he could have probably did a really good Star Trek without them.
People said like that about Star Wars, and I'm like, nah. I mean, I would like to see. Star Wars
is a little different. Star Trek's a little niche. I mean, I'm not saying that they'll never come back, but
no, I mean because I remember some people. I don't know if it was you, Tom, but I remember like one time on like some Mead stream, you were like, "Oh, I really hope Tarantino does a Star Wars movie or project at some point." But I'm like, that would be great, but honestly, I don't care about Star Wars. Even if it's like you got Robert Rodriguez with Book of Boba Fett, and I haven't seen the show fully, but I've seen like clips of like some of his episodes, and I'm like, how the fuck is this Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like it doesn't matter like which director you get for the job, you know.
Actually, Bogey, Tarantino is a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah, he is. He explained it in an interview. He said he was always into Star Trek, then Star Wars because Shatner was in Trek and not Star Wars. That's literally what he said.
He actually understands it. You would think he would, but he does.
I love how he just threw JJ under the bus. He's like, nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. Do whatever you want.
When you played that clip and he was like, J.J. Abrams didn't. He's like, yeah, you can just do whatever you want. You don't even have to follow what we set up.
Exactly.
Like, for real? That's a sign of a person who has no clue of what he's doing on a franchise project.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, yeah, my editor tried to explain it to me, and it's something with a timeline, and I don't get it. And I said something to JJ about it, and he's like, nobody gets it. Nobody likes it. Just do what you want.
Ridiculous. That's crazy. But yes, mark that down. Tootsie could be in the Columbia next box set there for 4K. I would bet you're pretty accurate there. And there's a new Vestron coming out, Extreme Prejudice, starring Nick Nolte and Powers Booth. That's
Nick
coming.
Nolte.
Nick Nolte.
Every line he says sounds like he's got to take a shit.
That comes out May 17th.
Your partner ain't your friend.
I know him in the Hulk movie.
Convict.
It's like you could almost hardly understand what he was saying in that one Hulk movie he was in.
Oh God, he was really bad there. Yeah,
He was really bad.
like, have another smoke there, and I should talk. I mean, I don't even smoke that much, but like Nick is like, yeah, have another one, Nick. Jesus Christ.
Yes, you're right, Brian Barth. He's a glorified TV producer.
He's not even that. He's more like a glorified like secondary writer. But yeah, so moving on with announcements, though, I see we got Rawhead Rex in 4K.
Yes, Rawhead Rex in 4K, which I'm looking forward to getting that on 4K.
Yeah.
With a new HD Dolby HDR 4K scan. And also Transmutations, also known as Underworld, written by Clive Barker, directed by the same guy that directed Rawhead Rex, is coming out too by Kino Lorber. So there's that. If you remember that movie. It's more obscure.
I don't, but I will probably try and pick that up.
Hell, Anthony Draven and everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. I think that was about it. The Pianist Runner seems to be into the Pianist for some reason.
I've never seen it. My friend like recommended to me like a few years ago, saying like, "Dude, you got to see this movie. It's really good."
We brought up King Ralph. Yeah.
Yeah, King Ralph.
No, that was just something I saw on my Twitter. Like, oh, it's coming out on 4K, but I think it's in like the Blu-ray's in like Shout Select or something. So
we are getting the Hunter from Vision out of Australia.
Oh, that's cool.
Steve McQueen. And then Hell or High Water, although it's been available in 4K, is getting one of those steel books.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. It's one of them like American Psycho style steel books.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't, but I just haven't had a chance to find
it.
Yeah, I know everybody keeps telling me it's so great.
Movie.
And I haven't.
It is so good.
But the other big news was the Alfred Hitchcock second collection, which we had talked about that was going to be coming out. Yeah. That one's actually going to contain looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies. Yeah, we get Saboteur, Shadow of a Doubt, The Trouble with Harry, Marnie, and Family Plot. The one I'm looking forward to most in that collection is probably Marnie.
That's what I was about to say, Marnie.
I don't think I've seen Family Plot.
I haven't heard of any of those movies.
There's some of his lesser known titles. Like I think they really did shoot their wad on the first one.
Mm-hmm. They
give you like the 4 best known films.
Like, here's Vertigo. Here's Psycho.
You should have probably split those up with some of the other films.
because I did buy the Alfred Hitchcock collection, the first one that came with the 4 like well-known ones.
He's only got like 1 or 2 other bigger films that are left. Yeah. So they kind of blew their wad on that one. But yeah, so that was announced. And then we got what was the other one I said? There was another bigger one. We did get a look at For a Few More Dollars and Fistful of Dollars 4K. I think we talked about those before. I know, I saw this. I know Runner pointed this out in our group chat, but I also saw it too. But we're finally getting the replacements for Mad Max out on the market.
Yeah.
They have a different UPC on them, so you'll be able to tell which ones they are. I still haven't heard about Escape from LA yet, though. But all I know is that they're supposed to be getting the yellow UPCs. So,
yeah, I remember. I just saw that in my feed, and I'm like, oh, I gotta show this to the group. So yeah, then I'll actually get the set then, because I heard there were like issues and stuff with Road Warrior and Thunderdome.
Yeah, it's mainly if you're watching the old 2-track surround sound, because basically what they did is the new 5.1 or Dolby Atmos mix or whatever it is. I think it's Dolby Atmos, yeah. That they used Warner's been notorious for using sound effects from their library that aren't part of the original soundtrack. So people were complaining about that and maybe some other missing effects, I guess. And instead of they claim it's the original stereo soundtrack on there, but much like Batman, all they did was fold down the 5.1 mix or the Dolby Atmos mix to 2 channels. So people are pissed.
Yeah.
The original Batman doesn't have all the same sound effects either.
Yep.
It's mostly just little things like guns and a few other things, but
and you can tell it's just a little off, so it don't sound just
if
right.
you're somebody, who's seen a movie a million times, I can understand how it's because it's like music. You can tell when something's not right.
Like I think I recently watched because I've only seen the first one at the time, but like I recently watched all of them like a few months ago.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll definitely get that box set because Road Warrior is really fucking good. I loved it.
Now, last week, did we mention Angel Heart, 8 Mile, and It Happened One Night? Because those were a few older ones, but I didn't know if we mentioned them last week.
I don't think we mentioned Angel Heart last week, but I did do a video with that.
You did talk about Manhunter, which is also coming.
Yeah, Manhunter, and I didn't hear the other one, 8 Mile. Did you say?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard about 8 Mile, so that's something. Hello, the lovely Sherry. Welcome.
Hey, Sherry.
And
there's another couple you forgot though, and that was
go ahead.
Dead Alive and
Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles
are like we're almost confirmed, I guess, or something like that, or something else that.
So
Jackson
we've all heard Peter Jackson say he's been doing these for years. The Beatles project took up the time, so he put them on the back burner. So then they come out. The Disc Father made the tweets, and I did see people saying, "Oh, he's just making this up. There's no confirmation, all that." Then I seen the films at home. We all know him. He got in there and said that, giving what he knows, it's coming this year.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It looks like they're coming. Meet the
I think we
Feebles
also
and
heard
Dead Alive.
rumors about the Frighteners and a few other ones too.
I would love to have the Frighteners on 4K. That movie is freaking awesome.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. And then we, of course, got the Criterion is bringing out Shaft.
He's a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
It's a great movie.
And then supposedly, I think Universal Soldier is supposed to be getting the Steelbook treatment from Lionsgate, which already has a release. So, the original Get Carter looks like it's getting a 4K release. I have no idea from whom. Starring Michael Caine, but if that's another Columbia release, that might be one that's in that box set. If they're,
well, you think maybe they're Tootsie that be all in?
It might be, because I can't remember if that's a Columbia movie or not.
Neither can I.
They usually do like most of their prestigious Oscar-winning ones, and then like one big box office kind of one in there. It seems like, and then your favorite movie, of course, Grease 2.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we talked about the Jurassic film. So I think we're pretty much caught up then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait on the Jurassic films, and I can get that the 6 movie pack whenever. What was it? Dominion or whatever the fuck this new. They need to
rescan Lost World because for some reason that one's only in a 2K up convert.
So the original Get Carter is MGM.
Okay, then never mind. It's probably Kino Lorber.
Probably. And Brian Barth, I know you was asking this about Alfred Hitchcock's best movies. I know it might be cliche, but I'd have to go either Psycho or Rear Window, plain and simple.
Psycho.
Or Birds, maybe.
I've seen
Psycho, definitely.
I've seen half of Psycho, and I've seen all of Rear Window.
Psycho to me is just so ahead of its time.
It is. It's just a good movie. I just got to go Psycho. I mean, I love Birds, Rear Window, all that, but Psycho is just like, I can't beat that.
Go Psycho!
It's so good.
Any news on Hitcher? I think it's still coming. I think it just got slightly delayed, if I'm not mistaken, and that was it. But it is still coming, as far as I know,
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was one I kept hearing a rumor about. And this is the thing, and I think I remember bringing this up before. It always seems like these directors, no matter what company they come through, it seems like a lot of these directors tend to do their 4K scans all at the same time. Like,
true.
Like Scorsese did a bunch, and then all of a sudden, like You had a bunch of the John Carpenter movies come out, and there's been a few other the Lawrence Kasdan films. Just certain directors all of a sudden seem like they've got, you know, their movies are getting scanned already, and they all seem to be getting scanned at the same time. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Peter Jackson's doing, if that's how they're doing. And plus, then it has the directors around, so they can just sign off on everything too.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to Dead Alive, Brain Dead, which is the original title.
Yeah, North by Northwest is one of Hitchcock's ones that's left, I think, and I don't know if Universal owns that one or not.
I think that's why it wasn't in the set.
That's what I'm thinking, because that's just one of the only bigger ones besides the ones that are already out. But all right, let's get into this.
Okay, let's do this. So you want to get ready, Runner? We'll let you go first, since you may have an exam or something.
Yeah. So this is a 3-movie collection right here. It's not the one you're thinking. It's
Debbie Does Dallas, Debbie Does Dallas 2, and Debbie Does Tennessee. Done.
No, I've never even seen those.
I thought the third one was Debbie Does Texas.
Oh, there you
go. But this one comes with 2 bonus documentaries, and it's a horror franchise, and it's one we've probably all seen and loved.
Franchise?
Except for Andre, and that's Scream.
That's great set. I have that set. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw it at my Best Buy. Like, they just put them in the shelves. I'm like, oh, I'll get it, because I'm like, oh, plus 2 bonus documentaries, and I just pretty much got it for that.
Yeah, you can't get those documentaries on any other Scream set, so
that's a good thing to have. Pretty good job of carrying over everything from the DVDs to that too, from my recollection.
Yeah,
because I only owned like the first one on 4K, which is the only Scream.
Does it have the
actually? Take that back. The new one's coming on 4K.
Does it have the music video on part 3 though? I can't remember.
By Creed. What if?
Yeah, that's on the original Blu-ray, but a lot of times those don't get carried over. That was one of the only things that was missing, and I know it's Creed, so who gives a shit, but on H2O that was missing was the What's This Life For video.
Yeah.
Because it was on the DVD, but it's not on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's not on the Blu-ray. I haven't looked at my set in a while, but I do think that is on there. I'm not too sure, but I think it is.
On the Shout Factory?
Oh, no, not on Shout Factory. On that Blu-ray set. That
the Scream one? Yeah, I think so. Because I think they just carried everything right over, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they haven't released another copy of Scream 3, so, because that's from Scream 3.
Yeah, that when they did that first box set, because initially, that was one of the earlier Blu-ray box sets, and I remember getting that, and they misadvertised that fucker so bad. I was so pissed. Because it's supposed to come with this bonus disc, and it's supposed to have all these alternate endings and stuff they said on the trailer. You could probably still find that trailer on YouTube. And the bonus disc is literally just like, I think 1 or 2 more featurettes that weren't in the first movie's bonus features that aren't really anything special. They're just like EPK shit. And like the fake trailers from the Sunrise Pictures Scream movies. That's it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Otherwise, it's all the same stuff we've gotten before, nothing new. So I was like, oh my God, they're advertising all these alternate endings and shit. And all it is the stuff from part 3 where it's really just different takes. They really didn't do much different. It's still the same result. But I'm like, where's these fake endings that they shot for 2 and 3? We all know about them because they shot 2 or 3 different endings for each one to throw the crew off on who was the murderer so it wouldn't get out there.
You think they'll ever release those?
I would hope the fuck so, but who knows now that they've changed hands 3 times since they came out. But
yeah,
they must have, they may not have printed them all. That could be also a problem, is they just even though they filmed them, you know, it was just to throw off the crew, because what happened was during the second film, the script leaked online. So what they did is they filmed 3 different endings. They changed the ending from the original script. And then for part 3, to combat that whole thing, they filmed, I guess, like 1 or 2 other endings with different killers. But they were claiming it was all these alternate endings. All it was it was part 3 that had a few different versions of the ending. It's very similar. It's just how the things play out are a little bit differently, like in the room, like between Sydney and her brother. It's still her brother. It's not like it's it's Dewey or some shit like that.
I believe it was
like,
one
that's
of
what
them.
I want to see, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I believe one of them was the chick that was playing Gail Weathers in the movie was his accomplice.
Yeah, see, they've done things like that to throw off people in the cast and crew so that no matter what they say, they actually can't give you the real answer. So
yeah.
But yeah, that was a big bummer. But no, that box set you got there, Runner's great because of those 2 documentaries that are on it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mainly just bought it because of those. Hey, Greg, I got a question. Did you see the new movie yet?
No, I've been meaning to, but then I looked into it and... Huh?
Did you watch it, Runner?
Yes.
Did you like it?
And?
It's worse than I thought.
He calls the fans... It says the fans are the problem, isn't it? I was right.
Yes. No, not only that. Oh my god, should I spoil the movie?
No, don't spoil it for me.
Don't spoil the ending, but it's not like it's spoilable.
It's not the ending. It's basically the middle of the movie, but like, are you
talking about the revelation of the one character that makes no fucking sense whatsoever?
Which character is that?
A relationship to an earlier character, let's say. Like, I'd like to know when this happened, kind of thing.
What the boyfriend of the main character?
The parentage, let's say, of a specific character.
Okay, I'll say this much: the only character I pretty much liked was the little girl, and that's it.
So the thing is,
she's the only one I fucking cared about out of
I'm gonna be honest here. I have a really strong connection to at least the first 2 Scream movies, and I really liked the third one. I hated the fourth one, and
that fourth wasn't good.
Yeah, I was really kind of excited for this fifth one.
Only worse. Like, if you did not like the fourth one, you're gonna fucking hate this one because
I did not like.
And at least at the end of the fourth one, they got the message right, and that's where Sydney says the original is always better, bitch.
Exactly.
Suck
because even though I didn't like the fourth one, I liked the ending of the fourth one, and I could still sort of rewatch the fourth one. You know what I mean?
Well, did you get the same thing as me, Runner, where you're stretching the entire time to figure out why anybody but Gail Weathers is actually fucking there?
Yeah, I noticed that. Like,
she's the only one that makes sense to be there. No fucking reason for him to be there. Nev Campbell, there's absolutely no fucking reason for her to be there. In fact, she gives you every reason in the world in the first scene you see her for her not to be there. Because she's family, a life, she's moved on, she's got her shit together. I'd be like, that's cool, bitch. I'm staying out of this one. Peace.
See, this is what
I agree. She should have just stayed and like, okay, I'm gonna leave it to this. What they do to Dewey makes no fucking sense.
I fucking hated what they did to Dewey.
That was just pathetic.
See, I mean, I don't know a whole lot. I haven't really been spoiled by the ending or anything, but I know if you
been able to gripe about this movie with anybody really. So
I know.
I apologize.
I'm going to watch it. I promise, guys. I'll try to get it done this weekend.
Yeah, we
can gripe about it.
I was gonna say we gotta do the Scream stream.
It's
Greg.
just I didn't realize it was 2 hours. Excuse me. I didn't realize it was 2 hours to begin with.
Oh, you know what pissed me off more than anything? And Tom, you know what I'm talking about. The very end of they did a very similar thing from Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know how it says for Harold?
Mm-hmm,
they do the same thing in Scream, and it says for Wes.
I did not like that either. It was kind of
I was like, if this is your way of honoring Wes Craven, that's an abomination.
No, you just basically ripped off the fourth film and did it worse.
I'll try to get it watched this weekend.
And I'm not even saying that, and like it is because like the fact that the fourth film has like relatives and stuff from the other, like all that stuff is replayed again here in a weird way. It's just like pathetic. It comes off really pathetic. Sorry, you were saying something, Runner.
No, I was just gonna say like it's a complete disservice to what he did.
They Jake Skywalker Dewey big time.
Oh man, and some of the shit that I've been hearing about Part 6, it's going to get worse.
We're getting that in less than a year, kids.
Yeah.
Like I
see. Like, here's the problem. Here's the problem with modern legacy sequels, like much like the Candyman, the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is they don't get the originals. They act like they're in the spirit of the originals. They act like they're doing this for the original creators. But what they're doing is they're subverting, which is never good, and they're just making stupid. I can't even.
Okay, here's the weird thing, Greg. The speech you just had. There's somebody in the movie that has a very similar speech. Only all those speeches end in the same place. It's the fans' fault.
Yeah,
the fans can't move past
always
the original.
The fans'
Yeah,
fault.
like this is a thing. They even make a nod to that message of like toxic fandom, like with like the high school kids, and I'm like,
toxic fandom though.
no, like they mention it like in like the new like high school group of kids that are like kind of the main characters of this, and I'm like, oh fuck, yep, I know what people are talking about now, and then they just drag it on in that third act.
And I don't know about, there wasn't one character, it's not one single one of the new characters I liked. At least in Scream 4, I liked that bubbly little blonde chick with the short hair.
Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah, she was good in that because she felt like she fit in a Scream movie.
Yeah.
The rest of those kids were just kind of like, from part 4.
Oh, part 4.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like I was saying, and again, Greg, you kind of already know this, like, I mean, all these characters are somehow connected to the original film.
Yes.
Like, so that's kind of the whole gimmick. And it really grows thin to the point where one of the characters, you're just like, that doesn't fucking make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Because they forget how long ago the original movie came out and just certain aspects of it. And it's just, you're not really taking these things into consideration, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like they do this like like they're saying they're doing this out of respect for the fans, for Wes Craven, for Tony Todd.
Okay, and
it's like, no, you're not.
I think I said this to you too before, Greg. It's like if anybody out there who disliked the supernatural elements of Scream 3, they amped that shit up to the nth degree here. Because that was one of my main gripes that they didn't really kind of explain from Scream 3 is like, is she really going nuts or is somebody fucking with her? They never really quite explained if she was really seeing her mother or if that was her brother fucking with her, right? We never got that quite explained. Right. So they take that aspect of it with, Sydney being able to see her dead mother. They amp that up here with somebody else. That's big time.
That's crazy. And my thought is, if you're going to at least do something supernatural or try to pretend like you're doing something supernatural, just go full force and make it supernatural.
They kind of do here in a way, and that's where it takes it off the rails, because I'm like, Scream's not supernatural, and that was my main gripe with part 3, and at least I can at least play it away that it was probably her brother fucking with her somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I liked in Scream 3 when they were like, the killer could be unstoppable, and like they shoot him multiple times, and he keeps going. And I thought it was clever with the bulletproof vest. I was like, oh, okay. So that was cool. But then like with the mom and the blood and all that is like, seriously?
I don't know. Scream 3 is probably my second favorite of the franchise, honestly.
It's a bipolar film. You've got these great stuff with the classic cast in it. I love the setup of, it ties everything back to the original with the fact that, Sydney's mom isn't exactly who she said she was or presented herself as. And, and she's got this child. All these things, like, they make sense, right?
Right.
But the other part of it is that supernatural aspect of her seeing her mom and all this other bullshit, which, like I said, once you get to the studio, I can buy that it's her brother, like, playing with the sound effects and all these other things to kind of invoke this in her. But outside of that, when she's just seeing it at her house and shit, it makes no sense.
Exactly.
Because the whole point of him is he's trying to draw her out of hiding anyway, right? Like, that's the whole opening bit of the film, is he kills Cotton Weary to get things in motion, to get her to come out of hiding. So he obviously doesn't know where she's at. So I can't go with that logic, right? So it's clearly this stupid thing where they're playing with her going nuts.
It's crazy. And thank you, Dan Blackroyd. That was one of my biggest gripes with that movie, is because both the Roberts girl and Macaulay Culkin's brother, they're about the same damn height, and the guy killing everybody is 6 foot. You can tell he's a man.
You're gonna have the same problem with this movie. Trust
That's
me.
what I've heard, and that's one of the reasons. Much like So there was another movie out there too that I kind of just lost interest in. Is like I want to watch these so I can make my full opinion.
And you can have let me
and
say it
it's
this way.
just I lose interest in them
You
because
can
I'm like,
have girls
ugh.
involved as the killer or in a way, but you can't have them be the main killer because it just does not fucking physically work. You can't have this imposing 6-foot guy always playing Ghostface and expect us as an audience to believe at one point that was some 5-foot nothing, 100-pound soaking wet chick.
Exactly.
It just doesn't fucking work that way.
Okay.
And at least in part two, Billy's mom was actually almost the same height as Timothy Oliphant. So you could buy into that.
I really wish I could spoil the new movie because that was an element that annoyed the shit out of me. Like, okay, like it's like one of the killers is like one of the I'll tell you this. Someone could literally beat the shit out of this person who's one of the killers, and yeah, when you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just
I'll tell you what, too, Greg. You can tell who it is right away, but they throw you off with the trailers trying to make you think it's one of the original killers or one of the original people that it's a killer. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a bait and fucking switch from the trailers.
Bait and switch.
And not only that, you can tell like about 2/3. What would you say, Runner? About 2/3 of the way in, you can kind of pretty much tell who the fucking killers are. It's pretty goddamn obvious.
Yeah, I'm like,
and the fact that it takes 2 hours to get to that point.
It's because it's a bunch of meandering bullshit. And what's funny is, I'll tell you this: the one thing the movie does do is clip along. It doesn't wear its 2-hour running time that bad. The movie does clip along pretty well, and at least it gets you interested with the old characters. But the newer kids are not interesting enough to pull you in like they were in Scream 4. And I said, like, if you didn't like Scream 4, then you're gonna fucking hate this one.
Oh, I guarantee I'll probably hate this one.
It's basically the same goddamn movie all over again, only worse.
Because
it has this hubris to it that it's like, we can do it better. And it does. It carries this new generation's fucking hubris of, oh, you guys are just hung up on the original. We can do it better. It ignores the facts that we love Scream 2 and 3, right? And all that kind of stuff. And Scream is one of the more consistent franchises that has been out there. But they ignore that entire idea of it.
That's been one of my biggest gripes with a lot of modern movies and stuff is that they feel like even like, not to bring it up or heart up on a dead horse, but like with the Rings of Power, they feel like they can do it better.
And that's exactly what you have here.
And it's like, I hate that because it's like this Candyman, Jordan Peele's in it. He can do it better produce it to make it. Toby Hooper did the original, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but these new people, we can do that better because it's just all about him.
I saw enough of that thing. I'm not fucking watching it.
Exactly. You don't want to watch that
it's
shit.
Woke trash, I heard. It is uber woke trash.
I've heard it's like a message about gun violence or some shit. Yeah, no thanks.
It's not even called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just called Texas Chainsaw, right?
No, I think it took out the. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, is it? Okay. I knew it was some stupid name. I just remember that, but
they just took out the.
I thought they were just going with Texas Chainsaw or something like that.
I think that was the one. Wasn't that the one that Adam Marcus helped write? Didn't that what they? No, that was
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah, 3D.
You might be right. That might be the one they took the chainsaw out of.
Yeah.
Even though I think that has the most chainsaw in it besides 2, but yeah. I don't really hate that movie. And I talked to Adam about it. And I feel bad for him because it sounds like there was a good movie there.
Yeah.
And I see it in the movie. The problem with the movie is when the only problems with the movie are the things that he doesn't like. The things that he said that were brought in by the other guys that were not there. Because he said he was under the impression they were supposed to write a $40 million sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was going to be presented in 3D. It was supposed to be this big, huge deal. They wanted him to write a sequel to the original film to ignore all the sequels like H2O did.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did is he wrote this story that takes place in the 90s like it's supposed to.
Exactly. That way it would line up.
And the studio decided, no, we want to make it take place now. So there's shit in the movie where it's shot like it's supposed to take place in the 90s, and then all of a sudden it's now. And it's like, wait a minute, if she's supposed to be this kid in 1974, how is she only 20-some years old? And he brought up all the gripes I had with the movie. So I'm like, oh, God, what movie did you write then? Because I'm like, there is a movie there that's really cool. I love this idea of, the family's gone except for Leatherface, and you need, somebody to come in and take care of him. He needs a caretaker. And that's the only person he won't kill is his relatives. I love that idea. There is a lot
Exactly.
you can do with that, but they just kind of fucked it up and took it away from him and made it this
Do your thing,
schlocky
cuz.
thing. And yeah, dude, the dude, he hates that
I
fucking
know.
line.
I know. I talked to him about it too.
I got a question. So
Oh yeah, that's right. You talked to him too. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to Scream, Tom, I got like this. Maybe this is just me, but like, was the little girl who like was pretty much like in the hospital, like I thought she was like the only likable character in that. Is that
You're
just
not
me?
wrong, but she's a kid, so it's easy to like a kid as long as they're
I
not obnoxious.
know. I'm just saying like that's. I mean, it's.
I felt
Like
sorry for Dewey.
That's the problem. Like I cared more about a little girl than any other fucking character.
I know. I felt sorry for Dewey. I kept wondering who's this guy playing Courtney Cox, and
Right.
and why is Nev Campbell there? That's what I kept saying, because like she actually made me like her in the last two movies. I fucking hated her in the first two movies.
I really liked her in the first one. The second one, I was kind of. The third one,
She
I
was
really got
annoying
her.
as piss to me in the first two movies, because I'm like, this bitch deserves to fucking die. She breaks every goddamn rule, and she's fucking stupid. Like, there's no reason she's alive. She's broken every rule by every rule and term of these. The only reason she's the final girl is because of her mother, and her mother is all the problem to begin with.
Yeah.
And not only that, at some point they lost the whole thing because her dad should have been the killer at some point any fucking way. I mean, come on, at this
That would have been
that guy got the fucking shaft.
I know, didn't he?
Right, you only
Poor
like,
guy
see
was
him in the
cheated
first-
on, had his wife murdered, his kid almost murdered.
But I think it would have been just
kidnapped.
way too obvious.
He was probably the original killer in 3 for all we know.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
Probably.
there was a version where it was Cotton Weary was the original version, if I remember right.
No, yeah.
Yeah, because he was all like trying to make it. He got success got to his head and all that shit. And
I'm kind of glad they wouldn't have did that because his character arc at the end of part 2.
I do love him in part 2. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's really good.
My one gripe about the little girl though is like when Ghostface like stabs her in the beginning, where they pretty much rip off the Drew Barrymore scene in a way. Like I feel like she should have died there.
I didn't like the movie from the beginning. That's my problem. I just didn't.
That's the
Tom. If you didn't
that's
like it from the
that's
beginning,
honest-
I'm
that's-
more likely going to just loathe it from the beginning.
That's honestly the beginning's the best part of that movie, and that's
It
not
felt like
saying
a fan film.
That's my
Yeah.
biggest thing is like these guys that I've heard talk, like the directors of the movies. It
They're
feels like they're
YouTubers.
just making their fan version that they like, what they think it's about.
Well, they did a really shit job, and you'll understand.
Well, and they pander to that crowd that thinks that original fans are toxic, and that there's the only thing keeping the new fans out are these old toxic fans. That's kind of the bottom line of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I remember like the mainstream like praising it, and I totally
Of
forgot.
course.
I totally forgot that movie was coming out until Yellow Flash made a video, and he was like, because like I watched his video, and he's like, this movie isn't marketed anywhere, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I like just noticed that too. Like I remember seeing like the trailers like a few times when I went to see a movie in the theater, but that's about it.
But
Like
That's
there's no like marketing for
I'll
that
tell you
movie
why that movie got
anywhere.
made. I know exactly why that movie got made, because
Why?
Paramount bought Lionsgate out, which happened to own the Scream franchise via the Miramax buyout. And they
Mhm.
went and they looked and they said, well, what's the biggest franchises that this studio has? Oh, Scream. That's number 1 at the top of the list. Let's do one of those.
yeah.
That's exactly how this fucking happened. I guarantee.
How much did Halloween make? Yeah, we'll just do that.
Exactly. And that too added to the mix.
Yeah.
And then they probably went down the list, and whatever the next couple ones on the list are there. And yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pulp Fiction's actually above those, but like they don't own. They ain't gonna get Tarantino to come in. And
Yeah,
do Pulp
he's not
Fiction
going to
too.
sign up
So
on that. But we'll go to you, Tom. Good. See, Runner, you should have saved it for the night we did the Scream, but that was a
Yeah.
good pick.
Well,
well-
I brought that just so I can get you to do the Scream stream because
I'm
I
good to.
watched. Listen, no, because I watched all the movies now. I'm ready. I am ready.
Okay.
it's on Paramount Plus now.
Yes, I know. I just, like I said, It's shit I've heard, and the interest meter has lost it. But I'm planning on watching it. I'll get to it this weekend.
Listen, man, just fucking do it.
Just
Look,
bite
if you
the
need
bullet.
to justify yourself getting Paramount Plus, go watch the 2 trailers for The Offer.
I'll tell you this.
I've heard that one with
I don't
Jeremy
have,
Renner's pretty good show.
I don't know about that one, but yeah, The Offer is the one that's coming out that's about the making of The Godfather.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I didn't see it on Paramount Plus. I watched it a different way, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's also available on digital. It's
what you got for
I
us,
got
Tom?
a classic, and this was a funky one to come out this week. It was almost like it was destiny, because we did our big Masters of the Universe video, and the one of the directors who was going to do part 2 was Albert Payun. And I put this movie in, and little did I know the director was Albert Payun. And afterwards, I'm like, why didn't this man get to do a Masters of the Universe movie? Because in my hand, I hold the perfect hybrid of Masters of the Universe and Conan. And it is one of the most kick-ass sword and sorcery movies you will ever see. There is blood. There is tits. There is a sword. It is awesome. There's Richard Mall is a bad guy. And it is fucking sweet.
Yes, the sword and the sorcerer, baby.
I need to watch that.
It is masterpiece.
Fucking B-schlocky awesomeness.
But speaking of He-Man, I did watch part of the retrospective, like when it was premiering.
Yeah.
Fucking good job, dude.
Thanks.
I'm not much, and I don't know anything about He-Man. It's not pretty much for my time, but yeah, I like the retrospectives you guys do. They're great to listen to.
Thank you. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch any of the special features on this. I apologize, or I can't. But it looks like there's a bevy of them. So, and I hope, and this is the thing, I don't know if it is. Oh, this says new commentary. Damn it! So it's not the one with Robert Meyer Burnett. Shit.
Damn.
Because Robert Meyer Burnett actually did a commentary with him for the DVD. That's not the one.
Oh, that's cool. That would have been nice.
That is cool.
You're not Robert Meyer Burnett. Chris Gore. I'm sorry.
Chris Gore.
Jesus Christ. And that's not the one that's on here. It looks like. Damn it.
Oh man.
But
how did it look? Because the Canon guy, he actually got an advanced copy of that, and he said it looked good, but it was kind of dark because it, was an older movie. What do you think?
I don't think it says it's from the original negative, but the negative was obviously kept in pretty rough shape. It isn't the best looking film, but I mean, came out in 82.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty darn good. I mean, I didn't think there was any major issues with it at all. A little bit of crawl, a little bit of crawl in it, with the sword part of it. But I mean, it's a really good film. The basic storyline is that this one bad dude, what's his name? Richard Lynch, I think it is. Yeah, Richard Lynch. He's like taking over this kingdom, and he raises this like creature played by Richard Mall from Night Court. And he's like just caked. He looks right out of something out of Conan, right? And he fucking helps him like take over all these kingdoms and shit. And at this one kingdom, as they're being killed, there's the kids end up surviving of the king, queen, and the first royal guard or whatever the hell he is. So, but that kid gets away, and he has the sword, and they've been looking for him for all these years. And then Richard Lynch betrays Richard Mall's character because they originally had a pact, And so he thinks he's dead, but he's not. So then it goes into this, like it jumps like X amount of years later, and it's really cool. It's a really cool sword and sandal kind of movie. If you love stuff like Conan and stuff like that, you'll like it. It's definitely a really good job. Albert Payun did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
What's sad is it never got the sequel that they advertised at the very end of the film.
I was about to bring this up.
Yeah.
Technically,
we did technically, but
sort of with Kevin Sorbo in 2010. It's not good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've never seen it myself, but because the movie did make a shit ton of money because it was only cost like $2 or $4 million. I can't remember which, and it made like $35 million at the box office.
Yeah, and I do believe that was like that movie there. Why Albert was put on so many projects to direct so many damn movies.
Yes,
after
as
that
you'll
movie.
see as you'll see in our documentary,
In
that's
your
probably the
He-Man,
main
yeah.
reason why he got brought on to direct Masters of the Universe 2. And that didn't happen, but I don't want to spoil the whole story, even though I told it here before. But yeah, check out our retrospective on that. And,
hey, Runner, pop that link in the chat so they can go check that out after the show.
The retrospective.
Yeah, the retro.
I'll grab it.
No, I'll try to grab it.
But yes, that is great. I've been meaning I want to get that on 4K because that's like one of my big shout factors when I get ready to purchase some. I'm gonna get a Sword and Sorcerer, Candyman, and Life Force. Boom! I'm gonna knock that out when when the other two come out. So
I mean,
glad
I'm
to
not
know
saying
that's
it's
really
one
great.
that screams for a 4K release or anything like that, but it was really good. I mean, it just, you could clearly tell it was a cheaply made film.
Yeah, but I
it
mean,
looks good. I mean, so,
yeah, the fact that the 3 swords is fucking awesome. You get to see some titties and you get to see some
a
badass
lot
fight
of gore. A lot of gore.
Yes, a lot of gore, great
That's
gore.
good.
So it's just like you said, it's just a really badass.
Richard Gall's
movie.
makeup and stuff looks really good, and they do these really cool things with his hands. That is like almost as not as good, but almost as good as the Tim Curry and Legend kind of stuff. Like it's really well done for what they had. I mean, you got to give them props.
It's true. I agree with you 100% on it. It's awesome. And my picks for the night are going to pale in comparison to that and Runners already. But that is a great movie. That is a good pickup. And I wish they would have put Chris Gore's commentary on there.
Yeah, I was hoping for it, and I'm like, maybe it's on there, because I talked to him this morning about it, and I just looked now, it says new commentary. I'm like, fuck, so now I got to find the other one with Chris. Damn it.
We totally need to get him on here one day when he's free.
Yeah, I've tried a few times, but Wednesday nights are tough for him because he usually goes to premieres and stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out one day. But that's awesome, Tom. I'm glad to know that's really good, and I'm looking forward to getting that one. So,
one of the better blind buys I've had anyway, that's for sure. Yeah, because I've never seen it before, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, no, I've never had a chance to. It's just one of those movies that eluded me, and I was looking forward to seeing it because I love these kind of films. I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I mean, I'm not gonna try and say, oh, it's like fucking 10 out of 10, blow you away, fucking Oscar caliber shit or anything like that. But if you love Beastmaster, Conan, Masters of the Universe, you'll love it. Crawl, it's right in line with that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
hey,
I agree because I love all those. Yeah, what's up, Sean? But that's cool. So I guess I'll move on to my measly pick. This is my newest one I just got. It came in early. I'm gonna keep it in the 90s a bit. From our good friends at Mill Creek. Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, I picked that one up, but I haven't seen it yet.
This is the 20-year reunion edition, put out 4 years ago. So
yeah. That was an earlier Mill Creek one that they tried to do a special edition with.
Yeah, they did a 10-year one, and this is their newest one, the 20-year one. But yeah, it's a good movie. I always liked this movie. I think it I can't even speak. It takes on the 90s at the very end pretty well. Like, it's very, very 90s. I just really enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah, great soundtrack.
Great, yes. Cast. It's got Can't Get Enough of You, Baby. Yeah, a music video on the special features.
Yeah, I think they just carried over the special features from the Sony DVD, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got the reunion special.
New on it? I don't remember. I didn't look.
This one's got 2 commentary tracks by the cast and filmmakers. Huntington Hills Class of 98 reunion special, the making of the teen class featurette, the life of the party featurette, deleted scenes, and I Can't Get Enough of You, Baby music video by
might be new. I'd have to look, but yeah.
It might be. It looks like some of them are in white, some of them in yellow, and I bet the ones in yellow are the new ones.
That could be.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed this movie. If you've not seen this one, it's really good. It takes you back to high school for real when you watch this, because I think they did that part really well. Like the 90s high schoolers, even though they all look like they're in their 30s. But it's a great flick. So if you have not seen it, and I bet your Runner has never seen this.
No, of course not.
I think you might like this one, Runner. It's got a good cast to it. It's pretty funny.
All right.
Where's my? That's what I seen it on my my screen, my other screen here. Yeah, my icon is not showing up for some reason on
Yeah,
YouTube.
not from the YouTube side, but I
Yeah,
could see it. I
I
could see
don't
it
know
on the.
why.
I could see it on StreamYard.
It's on StreamYard, but it's not showing up on YouTube.
I remember that's happened to me like a few times, and I would just like refresh and then like get back in, and usually it works that way. But
Yeah, well,
but you're
I'm
hosting, so
hosting. I don't want to quite refresh right now, but this is like if okay, I love me some '80s movies, and if you've ever seen like an '80s teen comedy where they all head to a party, have you ever seen one of those, Runner?
like an 80s.
Like an '80s teen comedy where like there's a big party.
Yeah, of course, probably.
Well, this is the '90s version of that.
Okay.
And it's like it stars Seth Green, Ethan Embry, Peter Fasinelli, Jennifer Love Hewitt, so many more people in it. Breckin Meyer, Jerry O'Connell, just so many people I can't think of. Like it's like a who's of the '90s, and it's just basically tell the story of this group of people. Like this one kid is pining after Jennifer Love Hewitt's character. He was going to ask her out on because she was like a new student freshman year, and then like the big jock of school ended up getting with her, and they dated all through high school. And then their senior year, the last day they broke up, and this dude was like, he's finally going to try to go after her. And you got Seth Green who acts like he's white kid who thinks he's black, and you got the goth girl, you got the nerdy kid, and they all just like convene on this final party of their senior year of graduation, and it's just crazy. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's got a great '90s soundtrack to it. It's one of the better done party '90s movies for high schoolers and stuff. So if you've not seen that, I do recommend it. It is a good one. It is funny.
All right.
Yeah. So you may like that.
All right.
Yes, and it was before Jennifer Love Hewitt was a woman of size. Yes, I agree with you, Sean, right there. It's very much a John Hughes movie without actually being one. Yeah, it takes that concept. Like that's what I was trying to get across when I was saying like '80s movies, parties, like The Breakfast. Well, not like The Breakfast Club because that's a detention movie, but like in that vein. You know what I mean? John Hughes style. Yeah, it's like the extended party scene from 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, which I'm sure Runner has never seen either.
Oh, of course I've seen it. No, I'm kidding. I haven't.
But
my turn, right?
Yeah, your turn. Go ahead, man.
All right. This is something I got from the mail today. One of two things that I'm going to show. I got a bunch of other stuff too, but very happy to get this finally. It's an Arrow release. It's one I've wanted on 4K for a long ass time. This movie, yeah, I agree with most people. It's probably a masterpiece, and that is Tremors.
They're under the goddamn ground.
No one was talking for a minute. Greg, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
They're under the goddamn ground.
I didn't hear you.
So you liked it, man? Did you like it?
You yelled Tremors, man. Like all I know is if somebody says that shit, Grandpa, you stop the fuck and don't make a sound.
Yeah, you gotta be quiet.
No, like
Walter, he ain't fucking Walter.
No, like a show everyone I pick, and it's like the room's fucking silent. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Did your like mic like fuck up or something, Greg?
I was muted.
Oh, you dumbass. No, I'm kidding.
I was in the background dealing with. I think my dog knocked over my fucking shirt hanger thing. It's like all over the floor. I'm like, God damn it.
Dan Blackroyd hit the nail on the head. Everyone was just in shock it wasn't a Zack Snyder movie.
Hey, at least I didn't mention it. Dan did, so.
Everybody take a shot. Zack Snyder's been mentioned.
By Dan this time.
Hey, Sean, I like Cool as Ice. I got that on Blu-ray not too long ago. I really legitimately like that movie. I know it's a crappy, bad movie, but I legitimately like that movie.
Don't get your hopes up anytime soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It is on Blu-ray though.
It is. But that's a good pick, Renner. Did you watch it on your 4K TV?
No, I've been pretty busy, so I haven't checked out. I mean, I've heard that the transfer is pretty good.
It is. It's really great, and it's got it pops because it works at its good thing. That's what filmed out in the daylight in the desert. So
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say.
yeah, it works really well, and I mean just like the special effects and the
There's literally
it's all great.
I was gonna say there's literally like no like nighttime scenes really.
Yeah. Other than when they pull the car under, then they find. I like when they find the dude's head, just like the hat blows away and the head face is just sticking up.
Yeah,
That's
I forgot
great.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, but like most of it's in like the daylight, so yeah.
They say there's nothing new under the sun, but under the ground, that's a whole different story.
What would make a man?
Baby, whole lot of shaking going on.
Oh, I love that.
I remember all those trailers. Oh, shake, baby, shake. Tremors.
It's such a good movie, and like even the trailers, man, were good. I think they put them trailers on there, Runner. I haven't got my case around me right now.
Oh yeah, they're all on there. That's where I ripped
they're all on there.
That's where I got the radio trailers from too.
I don't even know. I would have to look at.
Oh yeah, that's the most loaded. It's got everything from the former stuff, even a bunch of new stuff on there. I think there's even some new deleted scenes and shit on there. I watched a shit ton of the special features on that one a while back. Yeah,
I watched The Making of Perfection. I think is the only one I watched. I haven't watched the rest of the special features yet.
I mean, that was one where the DVD was a really early loaded DVD. So, like I said, all that stuff's been carried over, and then they managed to actually dig up a few other new things too. So
yeah, Michael Gersh actually took the role of Burt Gummer as to not be typecast as like a father from like Family Ties, and now he's typecast as Burt Gummer.
Yeah,
he played it. So,
nobody remembers Family Ties.
Yeah. But I totally get it. I agree with you. I mean, it was great to see him as somebody else.
No, I love Family Ties too, but
yeah. But that's a good pick, Runner, and I know you said you'd be right back. But Tom, you want to go ahead for your next pick?
Yeah. This one is one that is a controversial pick.
Oh.
I doubt I'm probably the only one here who's seen it. But since Easter's coming up, and I love Martin Scorsese, I finally got my hands on The Last Temptation of Christ.
Oh, with Willem Dafoe.
It is. So have you seen this one before, Greg?
I've seen parts of it, not the whole movie.
It's a really good movie. It's interesting. I don't quite see why it was so controversial at the time, per se-ish. I mean, I get it. But I feel like the controversy did the film a disservice big time.
Really?
Because it's a very well done film. Now, I hope this gets a new remaster soon because I don't see what year this came out. This is an older Criterion disc, though. I know that. 2012, it looks like, something like that. It's not the best transfer in the world. It looks very bad, dated. It's very faded looking.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, being that it was remastered in 2012, probably it's just whatever version Universal or whoever did way back when for cable and shit. It's not the best transfer, but the movie's great. I didn't realize.
What was the big controversy? Like the liberties with the story of Christ or something?
I guess. And honestly, to me, it's been so long since I've been in any kind of Bible study or anything like that. But I mean, from my recollection from Catholic school, Sunday school or whatever, and catechism and all that kind of shit, they pretty much follow along with a lot of things. But what it does is basically kind of give a more, what it does is paint Jesus as somebody who's, he doesn't want to be the son of Christ, like he doesn't want this burden. And he's doing things in his life to try and piss God off. So I can see where that part, but I mean, it's just, you can understand it in the context of the film, right? Like, he even goes through this whole thing that the reason Mary Magdalene became a prostitute is because of his devotion to God, and he couldn't love her, right? Like that's
Right.
another big part of it. Like there's this whole interplay of how it all works, and then between him and Judas. Like, I mean, I think the way that they humanized Jesus was the problem, because the whole movie is basically about him facing all the temptations. And I think a lot of people misinterpreted what the last temptation was. Like they think it's just sex and all that blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, it's basically just happiness, you know, being able to grow old, have a family, that kind of a thing to a point. There's more to it. It's very nuanced. And I think if you're and it is not technically the literal story as far as taken from the Bible per se, but they do hit all the major points and it all fits really nicely from what I can tell. And if not, I mean, I'll be honest with you, as blasphemous as it may sound, this probably is more of a historically accurate than the fucking Bible is. Let's be real. Because like, I mean, they even question Jesus because the whole thing is like, come on. Well, like nowadays, if somebody come up to you and said, yeah, I'm the virgin mother, I have never had sex, but I'm having this baby. It's like, yeah, I buy that story. You know, like you get that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I do think that might be the problem is like a lot of people actually do leave out the fact that when like even when she said that back in the day, she was kind of shunned. I mean, that's sort of one of the reasons why her and Joseph left where they left to begin with, is because, you know, kind of like people didn't believe them and stuff. So if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, and I just thought that I mean, I get it. If you're somebody who's extremely devout and take the Bible verbatim, I mean, you're going to have some problems here, probably. I can get that. But I mean, I personally, even being raised by it and all that, I don't see a problem with it. I thought it was a very good look at it. And if anything, I remember when the film came out that a lot of people said the same thing, that it kind of brought them back to the faith, you know, so kind of like, same thing with the Passion was another big one that was very similar in respect of how controversial it was, and Dogma as well. And Dogma basically follows along the same similar kind of idea that this movie does, only it takes it a step further and actually says that it's true, basically.
Yeah. Now, see, I was not raised Catholic. But I am, you know, I'm religious and stuff. So yeah, I don't want to say that would bother me too much. So yeah, because I remember seeing parts of it on TV and stuff, and I never had a problem with it. So I guess maybe it was at the time it was out, released, the controversy, and like you said, some of the stuff you brought up. So yeah, I get it.
Like a lot of it was a much to do about nothing, and then on top of it, they're probably just like, "How dare you have this, and that in a movie about Jesus?" Like, how dare you ignore that shit was going on at that time? It's like,
I think that's the problem. Is like anytime you try to tell this story, even by going with the Bible or history things and stuff, it's like somebody's going to say, "Well, you can't just do that. You just cannot do that." So I get it is what it is, I guess. I heard Dogma really pissed off a lot of Catholics
for a lot of the same reasons. Because, like I said, it carries over a lot of the same ideas, that Jesus was more than just, you know, what the Bible refers to him as, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And Jesus had brothers and sisters. That's what Dogma kind of implies.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to check it fully out, because, like I said, I've never seen the full movie. I've seen like they play it around Easter time on certain channels, so I've seen bits and pieces of it. So I've never really seen the whole movie.
It's a long watch. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes longish.
Well, what movie did you pick? Sorry.
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Okay, never heard of it.
Really? It's a Scorsese movie.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe plays Jesus. Harvey Keitel plays Judas. Barbara Hershey plays Mary Magdalene. Harry Dean Stanton and David Bowie are in it. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know it was a Scorsese thing.
Oh yeah, you can tell once you get into the film, but he does a pretty good job of really kind of just dumping you in that world, right? Like he did a really great job at the time. I mean, I can see why it got the praise it did. So I'd never seen it all the way through until now. So
I'll have to do that too. I always found it funny though, honestly, that they always played the 10 Commandments at Easter instead of like something like that, considering what it's all about. But yeah.
Yeah, I never got the connection with 10 Commandments and Easter.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I love the 10 Commandments. It's a great fucking flick. But
yes, I agree. It is a great flick.
I think it's because of that one bit. That's one of the parts. That's yeah. I think there's a reason for it, but I forget.
Yeah. But it's a good one.
I think David Bowie is playing. I can't remember the exact character he plays, but he plays one of the Roman leaders. He's only in one scene, but he's really good in it. And you can tell right off the bat. You hear his voice, and you're like, "That's David fucking Bowie."
I know. That reminds me. Have you ever seen?
So you're the Messiah.
Have you ever seen Into the Night? With Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I'm trying to remember now. If I did, it was so long ago.
It's like a noir old Hollywood movie with Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer, directed by oh my god, I can't think of his name. He did American Werewolf in London.
Pontius play. Yeah, like Tim Hanks says there. I think you're right.
Oh yeah.
You're saying sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about Into the Night. I can't think of the director's name. He directed American Werewolf in London. Anyways, Into the Night. David Bowie's in that movie.
John Landis.
John Landis, yes. David Bowie is in that movie, and like as soon as you see him, you know it's him. Like with his voice. That's all. It's just David Bowie. He's like a small part in that. He's like a hitman. It just comes out of the blue. that's all. That's
familiar. I think I might have seen it on cable. Like when did it come out? Like early 90s?
Like 1980.
Oh, so it was an 80s film. So yeah, I might have saw it on cable in the 90s, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a good flick. If you like, I know you like noir movies. So if you like noir movies, you might.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of it since John Landis directed it. But yeah,
it was one of his. Not his big ones.
Sounds kind of familiar. So yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
anyway,
and I didn't really get the chance to watch any of the special features, but of course, being Criterion, there's quite a few at least. It looks like a few. But yeah, no, I can't say I don't recommend it. It's definitely a great film, not his best film, but probably one of his more personal films, definitely.
Yeah, agree. I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I knew like William Dafoe played Jesus because I've seen it on TV, but I haven't really ever watched the whole movie. So yeah, I definitely have to give it a full, thorough watch now.
It's basically about the last few days of Christ, is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to me. Now I actually just did a review on this on my channel, and this is one of my newer things. And couple reasons why I'm bringing it up is one, not a lot of people watch that review, so go watch it if you haven't. And two, there's a few things I forgot to mention that I wanted to talk about, but that is 3 O'Clock High. I love this movie. And speaking of Scorsese, the director actually modeled this movie off of After Hours, which is what I forgot to talk about. Yeah, so there's that.
Scorsese have something to do with that?
No, but Spielberg did.
Okay, I was gonna say it has some. Yeah, I was gonna say I knew it had somebody famous as a producer or something.
Yeah,
I have that movie. I just haven't seen it in years.
It's actually this was a Shout Select because I know we've complained about this, but this is one of the earlier Shout Selects, so it's better than some of the ones they've been putting out. It's got some better.
Well, not only that, I think that's one that barely got a DVD release, so that's mine. So
so it was one that definitely needed the Blu-ray. Couple things I wanted to talk to this about that I forgot to mention in my review, but check out the review after show. Tangerine Dream did the soundtrack for this movie.
Yeah, they did a few in the 80s. Yeah,
right. And so this is what I wanted to know, and I wonder if this still exists somewhere out there if they have it. But like they said, they flew to America. They talked to the director and who also helped co-write it, and they told him what the movie's about was everything. And they flew back to Germany, and they said when they went over to Germany, they already had the movie scored without any other further talks after that. And they said they watched the movie with the score they had, and it was like a dark synth horror movie score. And because they said they took it as the big man wants to kill the little man. So they so like they didn't get it because the director said the high school experience here in America is drastically different than over there. It's something that's like uniquely American, what we go through in high school. So like they didn't quite understand it. They just saw it as like this guy was going to murder this kid. And so they like made a really dark. So they redid the whole soundtrack.
It that way, that's kind of funny, which is weird.
Yeah.
You could work it that way, but yeah, I can see where they're coming from. I didn't know this about it, but I haven't watched. I have that disc, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, so I saw this on that special features there. So they spent 6 months, or was it 3 months maybe, and they redid the whole soundtrack because the director and them stayed over there and talked them through it, seeing moves part by part to get the soundtrack that they wanted for Tangerine Dream. So I was, yeah, I know. So I was wondering if that dark synth soundtrack still exists somewhere.
They might have reused it for something, but
I would love to hear it.
If La La Land or Entrada or somebody like that ever puts a soundtrack out, I bet you they would put that, because they always put like an alternate, like if there was an alternate one that was never used and stuff.
Yeah,
so that'd be the place to keep checking out and see if they do. So yeah.
Yes. So,
otherwise, they may have reused it for something else too.
Yeah, I have to look into that and see if it's out there, if they reuse it for something else. But I thought that was pretty funny that they gave this like dark horror movie synth score to the movie before they even anybody talked to them about it after they told them what the story was about. So and that would be interesting. And like we said, Steven Spielberg and Amblin actually ghost produced the movie because Aaron Spelling owned it. And he wouldn't sell him the rights, but he said, "You guys just go ahead and let him do it." So,
well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember the movie. It was always on HBO. I remember as a kid.
Yes,
it's a great, like, yeah, it's one of those great kind of like coming of age type movies, but it's not like, it doesn't take itself overly serious either. So.
Yeah. It's like they said, when he first got the script, the director, Phil Janu, when he first got the script, he said it was very John Hughes. And so he rewrote it to be a little darker and more like After Hours. And because he didn't want to do like an everyday John Hughes teen movie. He wanted it to be a little different. And it is a little different, which I like that. And it is a little darker. And it's the fight scene. It's what it legitimately builds up to a really great fight scene. So it's well worth it once you're watching the movie and you get to the final fight.
And I gotta imagine the movie didn't do that great in the box office. I don't know what it did, but
it flopped. It flopped, but it grew a cult following over the years.
I was gonna say, I remember playing it on it was playing on HBO all the time.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said the director, because I watched the special features, that's why I keep bringing it up. But he said even though it flopped, he got to see it in the theater that he saw Star Wars on, in the big theater in LA.
That's cool.
So.
Yeah, it did kind of get I wouldn't say it's a massive cult following, but it does have a little cult following. Like,
yeah, it's not like huge, but
Sean knows what it is and stuff like that. So
yeah, so I remember growing up watching it. It was one of my favorites, and so if you've not seen 3 O'Clock High and you get a chance to pick it up, it's pretty cheap right now on Shout Select. It's one of the cheaper ones. It's like $13. So
here's one you guys need to get your hands on. Shout if you're listening, or hell, even Mill Creek, anybody, because it's never been released on a decent DVD, let alone anything else. Polish Vampire, get it out there. Come on.
Yes, please.
You know what that is?
No, I actually don't know which one that is.
Well, when I was a kid, I watched this movie. I had no idea what the fuck it was for years. Couldn't figure it the fuck out. Finally figured out what the fuck it was. The movie's hardly in print because the guy who owns the movie has only released it like once, and it's on DVD and from like a VHS rip. It is fucking horrid. And yeah, it's this little B movie from like the late 70s or early 80s. And it's just kind of goofy. It's about this nerdy vampire. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's probably a movie. If I saw it now, I'd be like, oh my God, this is fucking stupid. But like as a kid, I remember seeing it. It was just my parents were like, yeah, you gotta watch this. It's funny. And I just remember seeing it as a kid, and it just stuck with me because there was one bit that really stuck with me. And I just happened to, when you're just like scanning through stuff, or you happen to see a trailer or whatever, and I happen to see the scene for it somewhere, and I can't even remember what the hell it was, and I'm like, that's the movie.
That's sort of how I found that movie.
That I saw it, I couldn't remember.
That's also how I sort of found out. She's Out of Control with Tony Danza.
Oh, okay.
But like that's like for years I couldn't remember the name of that movie till I saw like a little, like I was like, holy shit, that's that movie. That's that movie.
Well, it didn't help that there was like 12 movies that all came out that same time. That like She's Gotta Have It. And this,
exactly. But I have to look up Polish Vampire. I've never heard that one before.
I think I don't know if there's any of it on YouTube or not, but yeah, it's a very goofy B movie.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
It had a very not quite. It had a very off kilter kind of feel to it, but I kind of, for some reason, it sticks in my head. It's like kind of like a Revenge of the Nerds meets vampire story kind of thing.
Man,
but not like that. Like just that the main character is a nerd. It's the whole thing is he's like a vampire and he's supposed to like get a virgin, and he can't get a virgin from my recollection.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
you know
it was
that?
on TV a lot as a kid. Like I remember seeing it on like WGN or TBS all the time as a kid. But
And then
I
I've
never
probably
remember
seen it
what the fuck
myself
was
too, just
called.
don't remember it.
And he's got like an overbearing mom, if I remember right, and all this other shit. But like, yeah, it just happens to be that's the name of it, is the Polish Vampire, I think. Eddie Deezen, I think, is in it. Yeah, you're right, Bogey. Yeah. Is it Polish Vampire in Burbank? Is that the whole title?
Polish Vampire. Huh. That sounds the story sounds kind of familiar. So
But yeah,
I
like
may
the
have seen it.
director, like just won't release it or something like that. I don't know. So shout Mill Creek, one of you guys, Keno, get on that shit.
Yes, there's so many out there that we could get. Well, that would sounds pretty interesting. So yeah, definitely.
Unless they
check that out.
lost the original print, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. So well, anybody out there listening, get on that. We could use a copy of that. And
Where were we?
also, yeah, and also everybody out there in the chat and watching, check out my review of 3 O'Clock High after this. Anyways,
3 o'clock high, yeah.
but yeah, Runner, what do you got for us for your last pick of the night? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't know I was muted.
Now who's muted?
Yeah, well, I unmuted in the right time. No, I unmuted in the right time. That's my comeback, asshole. Okay. So I posted this on Twitter, so I probably just spoiled it because you guys already saw it. This is probably the coolest collector's box set I've ever gotten. It's probably my favorite franchise. The TV show is probably Cobra Kai before Cobra Kai even came out. I know Greg will agree with me on that.
Yeah.
That is the Groovy collection for the Evil Dead. Speaking of
Give
groovy,
me some sugar, baby. Yeah, this is a nice little set.
Yeah.
If I didn't already have all the shit that's in there, I would have bought
Me
it.
too. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, does it come with this bonus disc? Like did any of the stuff you got like come with like a bonus disc that's like just a DVD?
Didn't you say that was on one of the DVDs a while back, Tom?
I was gonna say, I think, because I have like 3 different versions of the Evil Dead to have everything that was ever released. And I think if I remember right from reading what was in it, because that's where I was thinking, am I going to get this or not? I think that a lot of the stuff that's on that bonus disc was on that Anchor Bay set from years back, is the same stuff, but it's just put on a DVD. I could be wrong though, but
because I watched like part of it today. It's like a mini like documentary talking about the movie. Eli Roth is in it, Edgar Wright's in it, and they're just a bunch of the crew from the first movies like talking about the movie pretty much. So it's basically you get stuff like that in that disc.
I'll have to look into it, but yeah, I mean, I think that's what they did, because the 4K Blu-ray and the stuff like that before didn't have all the same stuff on it from Lionsgate, so I think they just hooked up with well, it's not Anchor Bay anymore. I don't know who owns. I think Shout owns that stuff now. They probably just bought it off of them.
By the way, are there any news about that Army of Darkness 4K coming?
I haven't heard anything lately about it, but I'm sure
it's in the pipeline because it's one of their bigger sellers. But I think the bigger question was whether or not Universal was going to be putting it out, or like Shout.
Yeah,
I was going to say that better come out soon.
And that sort of answers your question there, Brian Barth. The first one was sort of like a very independent, self-financed.
No, it was a very low budget indie
film. Everything. And so then, when they brought it back for the sequel, they just basically remade the first movie. So that's why it's so different from the first movie.
I think if I remember right, didn't Sam Raimi not even want to make a part 2? He kind of wanted to remake the original, but the studio, since the first
movie, he kind of wanted just to remake it.
Yeah, but like because literally the beginning is like a direct like continuation from the first one.
Oh, you can actually cut all 3 films together seamlessly.
Yeah, you can.
And people don't really know this, but like, yeah, it cuts out all the credits. It's like one big fucking movie. For somehow, I don't know how he did it, but Sam Raimi managed to make it to where if you cut in the right place of each film, because I had this as a younger kid, because my buddy and I had all the movies and we just brought them over together, dubbed them all together one day, and we realized that there's a spot in each one when the camera zooms in on Bruce Campbell at the end of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
There's a spot where it picks up at the beginning of Evil Dead 2 after all the recap shit, where it picks right up where it busts in right at that same spot. You can cut it perfectly. And then the same thing with the end of Evil Dead 2. There's a spot where he falls down into the scene where you can cut it there into Army of Darkness, and you miss nothing. You miss a lot of the intro shit, but there's nothing to stop you from the story. It all just flows into one fucking story. It's kind of cool.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of the problem of the, the differences between part 2 and 1 with, but like other than that, it's still, you cut it perfectly. Like there's no.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. And
I got a question, because I feel like this shouldn't even be a debate. Like, do you think it's a franchise like 1, 2, and Army of Darkness? Like, would you consider that a trilogy?
Oh, I consider them a trilogy.
Yeah, because I had this argument with like a friend of mine, and I'm like, because I don't know, they don't consider it a trilogy even with Army of Darkness. I'm like, yes, it's a trilogy.
Well, even though the second one's technically sort of a remake, but it still kind of picks up where the last one ended.
No,
the third one, Army of Darkness, is legitimately a direct sequel to the second movie.
That's what I'm. Because my uncle's a huge Sam Raimi fan, probably a bigger Sam Raimi fan than any of us. Honestly.
Well, in retrospect, the biggest disservice Universal did was to force Sam Raimi to make it Army of Darkness and not Evil Dead 3.
Exactly.
Because I think they could have called it Evil Dead 3, but the studio didn't want to release it as Evil Dead 3 because it had been like 6 or 7 years since Evil Dead 2 or whatever, and so they were like, "Well, nobody's going to remember that movie or something like that." If I remember,
no, because he did Darkman before.
I mean, there was a lot of years in between, and also, like
it sounds like about right where they don't release it as the Evil Dead. Release it as Ash
actually was originally supposed to be called Ash versus the Evil Dead, and they didn't like that title either.
Nonsense.
Because they're like,
nonsense. Universal.
Well, that's what they named the TV show.
and they kind of forgot the third movie in the TV show. Because of the rights.
Ash versus the Army of Darkness. I'm sorry, that or something like that. It was Evil Dead 3 Ash versus the Army of Darkness. Somebody correct me if I'm not right.
Actually, I think it does say Ash versus the Evil Army of Darkness in the title credits.
In the director's cut, I think it does.
Yeah, the director's cut.
I mean, I already knew the first title beforehand, but like when I watched that like documentary, at least part of it, where like they show like the behind the scenes stuff, like it's titled Book of the Dead. And then they just changed it to Evil Dead later on.
Yeah, the original film had a couple different titles.
Yeah, Into the Woods, Within the Woods, like Corley and Rockhead is the original Evil Dead.
Was that the short film they
made?
That's what inspired it.
That was one of the 2 short films he did, where he shot it with a Super 8, I think.
Yeah.
I heard about that
special features.
That was like a shorter film version of Evil Dead, and then he just made.
I gotta go through all my discs. I got that old Anchor Bay one that has like 3 discs in it. Then I have the Book of the Dead one where it's actually in the book. That's the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And then I have the newer Lionsgate one, and I think I even have an older edition somewhere else too. I'd have to look. But they have released Evil Dead so many fucking times.
I know, it's like been released so many times. And if I didn't own it all already, I would have got that set. But that is a nice set.
And then it went bad.
By the way, Tom, did you watch Ash versus Evil Dead?
Yeah, I haven't seen the 3rd season yet. I do have all 3 of them though, but yeah.
The 3rd season, I mean,
I heard it kind of goes off the rails a little bit. Yeah.
I still like it. It's just not. It's not as like the first 2 seasons are brilliant. Like I like the 3rd season, but it's not the first 2 seasons, if that makes sense.
Well, if I remember correctly, why that happened is because like the showrunner and everything, they had changed the showrunner, and they had different opinions because like I believe they wanted to make it a little darker.
I was gonna say, I think they pulled back the budget quite a bit too.
Yeah. I think that it's like Sam Raimi and them kind of wanted to make it a little darker, but like Stars wanted it a little more like goofier, so they kind of split the difference, and that's why it sort of goes off the rail in season 3.
Yeah, I loved the first 2 seasons, and I know I kind of never got a chance to get around to the 3rd season, and a lot of people were telling me it's like meh. So I have it on Blu-ray, I just never watched it.
Yeah. I'd give it a chance.
I got it on the Steelbook.
I don't think it's as bad. Oh, you got the Steelbook
too?
Yeah, for season 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, what pissed me off is when I bought it, I paid that as much for that steelbook as I could have bought for the whole set of all 3 seasons.
You've seen all
But I
3
already own the
seasons,
first
right,
2.
Greg?
Yeah. Actually, no, I have not seen the 3rd season. I'll admit
Really?
that one. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Same as Tom. I mean, I know about it,
Well,
but
plus I
it's,
got pissed because they canceled it on us.
yeah.
I'll say this much, because I have seen all 3 seasons, and like it really sucks that they canceled this show of all shows, and like it's like the very last episode of the 3rd season. It's like you could really do something fucking awesome with the
I've
1st
been
season.
meaning to get to it myself because it has been on my list to watch. I bought it. I bought the steelbook for like $15, I think.
Oh wow!
Brand new, and it was.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, yeah, I got to get into this. But I did hear like it goes off the rails in season 3 and everything. But I've been meaning to get to it.
I mean, yeah, it's the weakest of the 3
But
seasons.
I totally
like,
agree. It was sort of like a Cobra Kai before Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it's still a decent season. Honestly, I don't hate it like most people. Not hate it, but like, like I don't think it's as bad as some people might make it out to be. I still like it. It's good. It's just not
Yeah.
the first 2 seasons, if that makes sense.
But yeah, I get you. I get you.
Because I'll tell you this: like at the very end, it becomes this like apocalyptic world, and Ash gets all this cool like shit at the end, and it's like, fuck, you could really do some kick-ass shit like going forward.
No, I think Conan Rogue's right. If I remember right, yeah, that was what they were going to call it, the Medieval Dead. That's right.
Oh yeah, that might have been.
That was one of the working titles,
yeah,
Medieval
yeah.
Dead.
Ash vs. Medieval Dead for the 3rd movie. Yeah,
like bringing in the Mad Max franchise to Evil Dead.
no, he was saying no. He was talking. Tom was talking about how Army of Darkness was supposed to be the Medieval Dead. Is what Corlin said, and this is said if they would have did a 4th season of the show, he thought it would have been like Mad Max versus Evil Dead.
I got vibes from that. Like the vehicle that Ash got, I'm like, I could.
Well, not only that, I guess it would be kind of paying homage to the original ending of Army of Darkness, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So, you talking about the 3rd season?
Yes.
Yeah, where he fucks up and drinks too much of the potion and sleeps through to the apocalypse.
Yeah,
ending.
Slightly, but he doesn't like. But he doesn't like drink a potion and sleep through the apocalypse. Like the apocalypse just happens because like.
Right, I'm just saying. I think they're paying homage to it. Was my point, but
yeah. Because like this time, like, because you see like there's a creature in the 3rd one, like this giant thing, and all like this, like the whole world just turns to shit. Like that's really what the 3rd season is.
Which is funky because in some countries that's the whole thing. Is I think they got that ending, so I'm sure some people are confused as fuck.
Yeah, some people's like, I don't remember this ending like this.
So like the 3rd season would work for them. Then that'd be nice.
Yeah.
They'd probably pick up from the 3rd season and be like, okay, this makes more sense now.
And I did, I mean, later on, like I know, I think when Gary from Nerdrotic started his YouTube career, Ash vs. Evil Dead was like one of the first like shows he like reviewed.
Yeah,
so I watched
really
like I watched like a few of those and stuff.
It is great. That 1st season and the 2nd season are really good. I've been really meaning to get to the 3rd season because it's one of my favorite franchises. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to find time in my day sometimes to watch crap.
I get it. I think you'd like it, just not as much as the first 2.
Probably would. It's one of my favorites.
But it's probably gonna like once it ends, you're probably gonna be like, damn it, I really wish they could do a 4th one.
Speaking of which, Evil Dead Rise has been rated R.
Yeah, I saw that.
No trailer yet.
No trailer yet.
I still need to watch the remake because that's a sequel to the remake, right?
Same.
No,
I've heard it's kind of
No, Evil Dead Rise is not a sequel to the remake.
No, the Evil Dead Rise is supposed to be attached to the original film.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's supposed to do the Scream thing and have people that are related to,
but no Ash
characters.
No, okay, yeah. Well, is like Is it gonna have like the Ash versus Evil Dead characters in it, like Pablo and
No.
Kelly? Okay.
No.
Then who the hell's gonna be in it?
Again, like I said, it's supposed to be relatives of people from the first film.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
take
wait,
place
so
in
so
a
is that
building.
so is Ash's daughter gonna be in it? Because she's in the 3rd season.
No, but no.
I don't think they're connecting it to the show at all.
Spoilers, motherfucker. No. No,
Huh?
like I didn't know he had a daughter.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm too either runner.
Hey, mate. You know what? It's been out for a bit. You know what? It's been out for a bit. So yeah, I have.
Rabble.
We're old, okay? We have
That's
to
not
take
an-
certain
that's not
times
an
out of our day.
excuse. That's not an excuse. I'm old. That's not an excuse.
Yes, Brian Barth actually did know that Jason was connected to Evil Dead thanks to our good friend Adam Marcus. So, yeah.
Like Jason Voorhees?
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees, yes. The Book of the Dead is in Jason Goes to Hell. And
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I've only seen the first
Necronomicon.
Friday.
Adam basically posited that Jason's mom was messing around with the Necronomicon, and that's how Jason came back.
Yeah. Because there is a bit of a speculation on exactly how he came back.
No, but like shows like Ash versus Evil Dead and Cobra Kai, I really wish other shows could, be similar to that.
It would be nice.
Like the Rings of Power, cough cough.
I will say the remake. Well, it's not a remake really at all. The Evil Dead. It's not really bad. It's not bad.
I've heard
liked
it's one
it.
of the better. I've heard it's one of the better remakes.
It's technically a sequel, not a remake at all.
I have it, but then I went and bought it.
Where does it take place then?
Hold on. What was you going to say, Tom?
Well, I was going to say, I guess they just came out with a new director's cut or something like that of it not too long ago, and I got pissed because I just bought it just before that. So I still haven't even opened the damn thing. But no, I guess this newest one, Runner, is another script I think that they had looked at for a possible sequel years ago, because it all takes place. It's like Die Hard, Evil Dead, Die Hard. It's all in one building.
I got those vibes from the poster because it's literally like a building.
But I guess one or two of the characters is actually supposed to be related to one of the characters that was killed in the original film.
When I saw the building, I'm like, is this gonna be Evil Dead but with the raid?
We'll see. I'll give it a chance, because I will be honest, the last remake. It's a sequel. It's not a remake. I don't care what they say. Even Fidesz Alvarez, who directed the last one, says it's a sequel.
Okay.
I'll give this one a chance, but it's this one isn't. The new one, Evil Dead Rises, isn't impressing me so far. But I would say, if
Freeland Rogues probably like Demons too. You're not wrong.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty accurate.
I think it's supposed. Evil Dead Rise is supposed to come out this year, right?
I think so. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they just rated it, so that means it's close to being. I think it's coming to HBO Max.
Oh, really? Is it not a theater release?
No, I don't think so, or something like that. Somebody told me that. I think I couldn't, unless I'm wrong. Like somebody could have told me the wrong thing, but
yeah, I think I've heard that it was coming to HBO Max. I think I heard that myself. But yeah, that's an awesome set. That's good. I will say the remake.
If it's not HBO Max, then it would probably be Peacock.
Oh God,
I don't know who owns it. If it's Universal or Lionsgate now. I have no idea.
I could see it being in Peacock just because.
Well,
of
that's
the
thing is
Halloween
Universal
thing.
owned Army of Darkness, and they had Ash versus Evil Dead. But
I thought Ash versus Evil Dead was Stars.
Well, Universal's owned by Star. Stars owns Universal.
Oh, I thought it was Sony. My bad. I don't know.
No. Stars as of right now, unless they get bought out by somebody else, was last owned by Universal. And those are released by Universal either way.
I thought it was Sony because like almost a lot of their Sony stuff is like in Stars. I mean, last time I had it, but like my parents like canceled the canceled their
Or
subscription.
actually, Lionsgate did the Ash versus Evil Dead series.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say because it's in.
Yeah,
the
so
that's
maybe
it.
Lionsgate owns the whole thing because I think they released the remake as well. So they might
Yeah,
own
I
the
think
whole
that's the
thing.
thing. Like with like
The only thing they don't own is Army of Darkness. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
there you go.
they
Yeah, Lionsgate.
in the TV series they kind of don't go towards the Army of Darkness because that's Universal.
And actually, now that I think about it, I think
That's why
Stars
it's-
was bought out by Lionsgate a couple of years back.
That's why it's not in
Yeah.
the set.
Yep, that's why it's not in the
that's
set.
right. I was going to ask you, do they give you the Screwball edition or what? And then then I remembered, yeah, they don't have Army of Darkness in there. Yeah.
Yep.
What's the difference with the Screwball edition? I mean, I've
that was
seen-
just the edition that Universal put out. I have no idea what the difference between that and the Shout Factory one was.
Yeah, because I have the Shout version, and I've seen like the Blu-ray of it, of the Screwball edition. I'm like, yeah, never really heard of it.
Yeah.
I've never really checked to see what the difference is. I don't have it, so
I just
I
have
just
the
have the
Shout
Shout
Factory.
version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But it's an awesome set. And like if you ever do get a chance, give the remake. I don't want to call it a remake because it's not a remake, it's a sequel. Give it a chance. It's not bad. It goes a lot farther than I thought they were going to go, and it's very gory.
I'll check it out.
It's very gory, and make sure you fast forward it to the end of the credits on that one. It's got a scene.
Okay.
So yeah.
No, I'll check it out. It's just
isn't the remake in that box set or no?
No.
Oh really?
Who owns the remake?
I'm pretty
Well,
sure
they
it was
do it.
Lionsgate who put it
Yeah.
out. That's what I was saying. So that's why I'm surprised it's not in there because that's what pissed me off is I think they just put out that director's cut of it not too long ago.
No, it's just Evil Dead 1, 2, and Ash versus Evil Dead complete collection. That's it.
Interesting.
And a bonus disc.
They should have just had it in the remake and you can't get the Army of Darkness, but that's cool. That is cool though. A cool set. Tom, let's go to you. See what you got.
Oh, actually, it says Sony distributed it here.
Oh, really?
The remake. That's why. Okay.
And yeah, Corleone Rogue. The new one was very serious. It was very dark and serious. So.
Well, I got The Godfather, but I didn't get a chance to even look at the son of a bitch yet. So instead, I just brought a classic in this mode of Scorsese since I brought in The Last Temptation and brought in my Steelbook of Goodfellas. Hopefully, I didn't show it already.
I don't think you have. I don't remember you bringing up Goodfellas.
I've never before. I didn't even know that had a 4K.
That's a nice 4K set. One of the discs fell out.
Yeah, one of the discs just fell out. Probably the 4K, my luck. Yeah, it was.
Oh no!
Oh man!
Hopefully, I didn't fuck it up. But yeah, so yeah, it's a nice 3-disc set. Has a Blu-ray, the special features, and the 4K in it, and I can see the art a little better there.
That's nice artwork. I like that. I like Goodfellas.
It's got a gun and bourbon in the credits on the back.
How am I funny? How am I funny? Like
am I funny to you? Like a clown? I fucking love this movie.
It is a great movie. I tell you, it gets brutal too. It can get really brutal in that movie, man. And then I keep wondering. I can't figure out what he's saying. Like the way Ray Liotta narrates the beginning of the movie. I can't. It always.
Ever since I can remember, I always wanted.
Yeah, ever since I can remember, there was because I remember like the pigeons from that stupid show, Animaniacs. Because they copied that, and I was like, every time I watch Goodfellas, I could always think of the stupid pigeons because as far back as I can remember,
I always wanted to be a gangster.
I always wanted to be a gangster. It's a good movie. I like that movie. It's a good one. That and Casino, I really enjoy both of those.
Oh yeah, Casino actually aged better for me because I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't care for it as much.
Yeah.
And then I did not watch it again until recently when they brought out the 4K. And my God, I'm like, this movie's so much better than I remember it. Like, it definitely bumped its way up my list of Scorsese films. So, and for those who don't know me, like Scorsese is one of my jams, right? Like I love, and there's a couple of his movies I haven't gotten to see yet. So I'm working on it. And that's where The Last Temptation of Christ came in tonight. But Goodfellas, of course, is one of my favorite films of all time. I have the poster sitting right where I can see it all the fucking time next to me here. I could probably show
It's a
you.
great movie.
Like, here, like right there.
Nice.
And I got right next to my Jaws one, of course. But yeah.
Dude. No Cruel Jaws, though?
No Cruel Jaws. No Cruel Jaws. Not today.
Brian Borth says, do you think Goodfellas revitalized Martin Scorsese's career?
No, he was doing all right. I think this was his first movie after Last Temptation, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the thing is I've talked about this before where like directors will go into this phase where they'll do this major movie that was like very personal for them, and if it usually fails, that's when they just start to kind of give up and give in and just be Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
excellent point.
That's funny.
And I think that's where the Last Temptation of Christ, as controversial as it was, at least it was a hit for him in a sense, to where I think that's kind of where it does support my argument that a lot of times that's what happens to directors. When everybody asks, and Bryant is one out there who's asking that almost every show, like, what happened to this director? What happened to that director? I think what happens is when a director does a very personal film to themselves, afterwards they either change or they stay the same, or they just kind of like got that out of their system. Scorsese is one of those few that got it out of his system, but he was still able to maintain what made him him. Spielberg, all these other guys, once they did, like Spielberg did Schindler's List, he hasn't been the same since.
Yeah,
there's other times where it's specifically like a big movie that really does bad for that actor or director, then they will usually just go off the rails. And I don't know what happened to Tim Burton, but I believe it was Mars Attacks was the movie. I think that movie was so personal to him.
Messed him up.
And it got so just railroaded by ID4, right? And I can understand where he was probably looking at it. It's like, that piece of shit fucking movie did exactly what my movie was doing, and my movie's paying homage to the shit that I grew up with, to the shit that made me want to do this shit, and that schlocky fucking movie's making $500 million fucking dollars, and nobody's going to see my movie. You know, I'm sure that's how he fucking felt, because he probably put a lot into that movie, and that was one of his biggest movies ever when it came out, and I'm sure that was one of his more personal films besides Big Fish, and I'm sure that really bothered him. But then otherwise, there's just the argument that he got Big Fish out of his system, and since then he's just been going through the motions like Spielberg.
Yeah, pretty much. Runner has to go real quick. Runner, you want to say anything before you go real quick?
Such a party pooper that has to do homework.
Dude,
that's a good thing about being an adult.
What's a good thing about being an adult?
Adult like us, we don't have to do midterms.
Yeah, you lucky bastards.
You want to say anything before you go, though, man?
I hate to go away because of this, but I got to. You know, sorry to disappoint you, Tom.
I'll live. I think we're about ready to wrap her up anyway. Yeah. We usually only go about 2 hours.
I think Greg's got to show his last pick, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'll leave. I'll put my channel in the chat, and see you next
you're
week.
Pussyfooting out of here before the last pick even.
I know. Listen to him.
You know what? I should have left before Tom showed his pick.
Kick his ass out.
I'm gonna kick you out right now.
All right, I'll kick myself out.
Have a good night, man.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah, but that's a great movie. I love Goodfellas. And Seika here.
Did you just say Goodfellas? I like that.
Goodfellas. I did. I said Goodfellas.
I think that Scorsese picture.
That's my hillbilly coming out because I live out in the country. Trust me, I do. I got cows behind me.
That movie was good. You know who was one of the best Goodfellas in there? That Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. He said, "How am I funny? Like a clown?" And then he gets hit in the head with a baseball bat.
Then he killed that kid.
But Seika here is killing me with all the picks that he said. He's got The Godfather 4K, he got RoboCop in 4K, he's got Apocalypse Now, Drive, and Witch. Dang, man. But yes, Goodfellas.
Did you give RoboCop already?
He's not from America.
Oh my gosh, I want it. I've been waiting for it. It was supposed to be released like weeks ago already?
It was delayed here in the States.
I know. It's been delayed for years.
It sucks. But yes, I like Goodfellas, man.
I know we've talked about it enough, but I really, to be honest with you, I didn't get a chance to watch shit this So it was either
Me
grab
neither.
that or Masters of the Universe.
Me
I
neither.
like
I mean, like I said, I got a couple new ones coming in. Like the 3 o'clock high, I did do a review on, but I did actually get that. That's one of my newer Blu-rays, and then Can't Hardly Wait. I literally just got Tuesday, and I wanted, it's a good movie. I watched it, so I guess I'll pick on my last pick, which isn't. You probably won't like it. I don't know. We'll see. It kind of goes along with what we was talking about
Very
earlier.
rarely have I not liked any movies that you guys are. Well, you specifically. Runner, on the other hand.
He's been getting better though, but I would give him that much.
He's learning.
Blair Witch.
I've never seen it.
The newest sequel to the original movie. You've never seen it?
No, I've seen the original. I've seen the Book of Shadows, which I actually liked better than the first film.
Oh, did you? Now, see, I think it's a trash fire of a movie.
Oh, it's a trash fire. Don't get me wrong, but
it's a fun
watchable.
watch,
it's a fucking movie at least.
Yeah. This one here, I will say, this is what the sequel should have been. This is actually a really good movie. It surprised me because I went into it, thinking that it's not going to be good. That first one, the Blair Witch is great and everything, but I don't know how they can redo it in today's day and age and blah blah blah. And then you watch it and they nailed it. They nailed it.
Really?
And it's actually not that bad. And considering it's directed by Adam Wingard, who just did Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh no, they say he's got to go.
Oh, do they?
Go Godzilla.
I guess I don't really know much about him other than that in the movie The Guest, which I like the movie The Guest. So
no, I
will say it's good. It's good. There's legitimate scares in this movie. They try to recapture some of the stuff that happens in the first movie. They try to do it right. And this movie was actually shot in secret for like almost 7 years.
Why would you be shooting a movie for 7 years?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. I don't know why it took them so damn long to film it a sequel. But it's good. It actually shows the witch, which there's some debate on whether or not it's actually a witch or something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll set it up. Basically, the story is the brother of the chick from the first movie believes his sister's been
scared
found
right now thing.
Yeah. He believes somebody's uploaded a clip on YouTube of the house, and there's a flash of a girl, and he thinks it's his sister. He thinks it's Heather because he was supposed to have been like a little boy in the, even though he's not showing, he was supposed to have been like her little brother. And
I'd
so
say
it's much more accurate than
let's
the Texas
forget the fact that this fucking first movie came out 25 years ago.
Exactly. So I mean, it actually the ages and stuff line up, so it all works out. So he gets his girlfriend and his friends, and they head out into the Burkittsville woods. There's no stopping along the way to interviews with the town people or anything. They just head right out there. And they go out there and they meet with this guy and his girlfriend who claim to put the footage up and know where it's at. And they get lost in the woods like the first one, but it's much more supernatural. And they do just some scary stuff. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. And I think it's actually a pretty decent movie.
I'll be honest with you. I'll probably never watch it. Is it really her? And did they get the actress back or no?
No, they're not. Nobody from the original movie is even in it.
That might be interesting in watching, maybe.
That is like the biggest letdown for me because I actually did like the movie, but I kept waiting for her to show up.
They could have done like a Saw kind of thing with this to where, like, if you think about it, because if she did have any siblings, they technically would be more like our age.
Right.
So you could have got like a, Ryan Gosling and had like this like murder mystery kind of thing. Like, oh, my sister might still be alive. And, she's the famous one that's in the Blair Witch footage and all that business. Like that would have been an interesting story. So I see where you're coming from, where I could see that being something worth doing, but I don't know about it being a kid and like, well, not a kid, but like, obviously it sounds like he must be teenage or 20 years old.
No,
so.
He's like in college. He's like in his 20s.
Yeah, that's still pretty young.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, I liked it. And the thing is, like, I kept waiting for her or someone from the original show up, which it doesn't. But the whole thing that leads, it's kind of plays with time.
That's why I actually like the second film, because you're right, it's a trash fire. But it came out in the early days of DVD, so they had this gimmick with it to where they wanted you to see it on home video because you watch it in reverse and you get to see all the little Easter eggs that are in the film
subliminal
itself.
stuff they put in there. Yeah. Good night, Brian Barth. Thank you for your questions. Appreciate you always hanging out with us. But yeah, I would say if you ever give it a chance, you might like it. I liked it. I will say my biggest gripe of the movie is if you're going to build up thinking that possibly Heather's still alive, try to at least get the actress in there.
Exactly my point. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
That is legitimately my biggest gripe. But other than that, it's actually a pretty decent movie that plays very well with the technology we have today, and time. Very kind of. I don't want to say it plays with time very well.
I'll be honest with you. I'll probably never watch it because I really detest the first film. And it's so low. It'd be so low on my. I'll watch Evil Dead long before I watch that.
I like the first film. But I mean, I could spoil the whole thing for you if you want.
I don't care. Like I said, I'll probably never watch it. To be
technically, okay. So the girl that he sees in the YouTube video is his girlfriend.
Okay.
So yeah. So like the footage, because it's a found footage movie. The whole movie is.
Okay, so he's seeing the end of the movie.
He's seeing the end of the movie and the beginning of the movie.
Why would his girlfriend look like his sister though?
It doesn't show her the face. It's a woman.
Why would he think it's his sister then? That's
because it's in the same spot where his sister was, and he thinks it's her because he just sees a woman, and so he assumes it's his sister.
Oh, for crying out loud! See, now that's where they should have went with more like my idea, like I said, and actually had because you could have done like a Stranger Things thing, like she's been in this like other world for all this time, and
that's true. They could have did that because that's basically what they do in this movie. Is like they're in the woods. Like the person they meet, that the guide to take them to the woods to where they supposedly found the footage, they like leave them and then they come back and the dude's got a beard and it's only been a day for them, but they've said they've been out in the woods for months.
Yeah, see that I could see doing something with that.
They play that up in the movie.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Sorry, but no,
I get you, man. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it's the greatest movie. It's not an Oscar-winning movie.
No, that's where
I just thought it was kind of interesting.
Like and I could have been like, yeah, that kind of brings it back around, and you could have even played with the original footage and all that stuff, and kind of made a real movie out of that first movie.
I agree with you 100% on that. It's just, all I was saying is, like
Spiral. That's the movie I was trying to think of with Chris Rock.
Oh yeah, Spiral.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know the idea of is that it calls back to the Saw films, but he's an investigator who's going back through the case or whatever it is, and that's what I'm saying. Like you could have done that, like have like this, because like I said, technically, if she had any siblings, they should be our age.
Yes.
And like even better yet, you could have just had him be like a homicide detective or some shit.
That would have worked out well. But I agree, man. You've come up with way better storylines than.
And then he comes up with the idea, and then he gets there and realizes, oh shit, this fucking witch thing is real. Like that's the movie. Like there you go.
See, I agree.
And then you can actually use the footage from the first film, and actually have the actress come back and all that shit, or have her actually play the fucking witch now or some shit. Just something.
100%. I agree with you 100% on that.
The witch needs a body, and that's what she did. Is stole her sister's body, and he needs to disconnect the two. I don't care. That's fucking stupid too, but still, it's better than the shit that it sounds like we got.
I agree with you 100%. And like I said, each Blair Witch movie, the three of the originals, they're each got.
It's not like that poor girl doesn't deserve it because like she never had a career because everybody thought she was fucking dead.
Exactly. I think I saw her one time in a Freddie Prinze Jr. movie.
She come on one of those interviews, like she said, she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm alive. This was a movie." None of those kids actually had a career, even though they were in one of the biggest films of that year because of that. Because everybody actually thought it was real because they pushed that shit so hard.
Yeah, they pushed it like it was real footage and everything. I agree, man. I 100%.
That is that the documentary that goes with that movie is better than the movie.
It's true. And then there's even a documentary you got to watch before you watch Book of Shadows too.
Yeah,
to figure out some of the crap that's in that.
I mean, that stuff's kind of fun. Don't get me wrong, especially when that came out, because that came out, like I said, right at the early part of DVD, so it was kind of neat. And I did give it credit for that. Like it was one of the coolest, DVDs that they had come out at that point with all the special features and all the way to rewatch the movie in reverse and see all the Easter eggs and, like you said, the little documentary that went along with it and all that business and. But it just, I don't know. It's kind of a clever idea, but I feel like they just ran it into the ground in a bad way.
I agree, man. But like, I like each one of the Blair Witch movies because I like bad cheesy movies. So I would
Well, it
say,
also pissed me off that I was trying to make a movie when that fucking movie came out, and I'm like, these motherfuckers spent $125,000 on what? I don't see it there. Give me half that, and I can make a movie that looks 10 times better than this.
nice. Probably
And
more
I'm
likely,
pissed that
yeah.
they came up with that idea first. Don't get me wrong, but still.
yeah. But I agree, man. Like I said, if you ever give it a watch it, I don't know, since you didn't like the first movie, because it is much more in the vein of the first
I liked
movie.
it the first time. Again, like I said, I give them credit. I will never take away from the Blair Witch Project what it managed to do. It was the first viral advertising campaign online. It was an ingenious idea for one of the cheapest fucking gimmicks ever made, right? And it's a total throwback to like what they used to do in the 60s, in the 50s, where they'd pull you in with some gimmick, and the movie's nothing what you're expecting it to be. It's all just this gimmick, right? So like the first time you see it, the gimmick works. Once you take it home and it comes out on home video, the gimmick falls apart. And it's an unwatchable film past that first or second viewing, right? Once you know that it's not real, and like I said, then the documentaries and the shit leading up to the second movie and all that stuff are infinitely more interesting, because otherwise you're just watching a bunch of kids improvise for 60 minutes until something finally fucking happens. Like that's literally what the movie is, and nothing really does happen. Like you don't like nothing really, you don't see anything. There's nothing there. And that's where I said, I don't know where they spent that money. I know partially what they spent the money on. It was renting the sound equipment and the 16 millimeter footage and all that shit. But it's like, other than that though, it was just a big waste of money, if you ask me. But they made their money back and then some. It was one of the most, it is still to this day, the most profitable independent film as far as I know.
Right. I agree. Yeah. And, yeah, but I mean, just saying, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, once you get that first initial reaction, like in the theaters and watch it a couple times, then it kind of just like, it loses its appeal, sort of, I guess you could say, like you said. But yeah, I agree with you. But I like the first one, and I like this one, and I like Book of Shadows because it's a fun, bad movie.
I actually don't hate Book of Shadows. Like I said, I'll give Book of Shadows credit for at least trying.
That's why I give them something, something for not trying to rehash the first movie, trying to be
it's different.
original.
It does try to do some gimmicky things, and I gave him credit for the second film. I haven't seen it since it came out, so I can't tell you if it holds up, but
it doesn't.
I doubt it, because I don't remember it being that great of a film to begin with.
Yeah. But yeah, they, like I said though, I kind of like this one. It was decent, and they do try to kind of explain why you have to stand in a corner and not,
So why is that?
Because like if you look at the witch, she takes you. So as long as you're standing in the corner not looking at her, she can't do nothing to you.
Well, that doesn't make any sense then. Why was the one kid in the corner then after the fact? Does she put you in the corner after the fact or what?
That I really don't know, because
see, then they didn't even fucking answer that correctly.
Yeah. It's true. I think he was like, I don't know, because like in that, like as long as you stay in the corner and don't look at her, he can't
do that. He just showed up there though. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I don't even think
I'm not saying it's well thought out, but at least they give you some decent scares.
I haven't seen the movie in 20 fucking years, so
they do give you some decent scares in this sequel. It's not as thought out. I would say.
And the only reason I remember the movie is because, like I just said, for 60 minutes, nothing fucking happens. It's just kids walking through the woods, bitching and griping, and then all of a sudden their tent shakes, and then there's a bunch of screaming and hollering, snot in the fucking camera, and then there's a bunch of people running around an open house. And then you see the one dude who was missing in the corner, and the next thing you know, you see her in a corner too, and the camera drops or whatever, and it's done. Like, that's all I remember from the movie. That's all there is, kids. Like, they don't show anything else. There's nothing to see. My buddy and I meticulously went through parts of that movie to try and see if we saw anything. We're like, that's when we got pissy with it. We're like, this is fucking bullshit. You don't even see the witch. Because we were like thinking, oh, once this movie comes out on DVD, we're going to be able to go in and pause and see all the stuff that we couldn't see in the theater, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Well, technically, there was somebody running around in a suit out in the woods that they would use to scare them, but they never filmed them.
I get it. It was a hell of a gimmick. I can't take that away from him.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe you would like this one better than that one if like this was the first movie or something. You know what I mean?
If they probably did something more along the lines of what I said, I probably could dig it, but off of what you just explained, I doubt I would. I mean, I'll probably give it the same kind of praise I did the second film. I give him credit for trying with the concept.
I give him credit for trying. Like I said, my biggest gripe is that if you're going to at least bring up the originals, get the originals in the movie. That's at least you could do.
Not only that, like I said, you owe it to the actors at least.
Yeah, you owe it to them for what you put them through now that they don't really have a career.
Well, just what you put them through, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, but hey, that was just me. I mean, like I said, I had nothing fancy tonight. Just had some leftovers. But that's what I had.
Well, hopefully next week I'll be able to crack. In fact, right after the show, I'm going to go crack into. Maybe I'll get the first Godfather watched, but we'll see. I got to read a Andre's script thing first, and then I'm going to try and crack into the Godfather. So hopefully I'll have that for next week.
Nice. Looking forward to that, and hopefully I'll have some newer stuff next week as well. But yeah, that's the physical media show for tonight. And Mill Creek, Shout, Scream, Arrow, whoever may be eventually watching this, just know we like your products. Just saying.
Send it to us some, please.
Just saying.
We'll review them.
I have time to watch movies through the weekend.
You know, that pissed me off more than anything, Greg. All this week, seeing all these people review the Godfather thing, I'm like, oh, that'd been nice to have that a couple weeks early. What the fuck?
Yeah, it would have been nice. You ever watch Hack the Movies?
I know of them. I don't know if I really.
They're doing The Godfather this Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 50th. So, yeah, it would be nice to be able to. I mean, I'm not trying to get a free ride or anything like that. You know, it's hard work to build these channels. Trust me. I put long hours into this stuff, along with working and taking care of family. So, you know, if I could get a little perk, I'm going to take a little perk.
Well, it's not just that. It's just like, why? How? What the fuck did we do wrong?
Exactly.
I get Mill Creek, but
I'm sorry we're sorry we bullied your website, Mill Creek.
But you would think that would prompt them to send us like a shit ton of stuff to just try and sweeten like, look at all this stuff we just sent you.
Yeah.
I got 5 Mill Creek shirts.
But,
this is not their building.
It's so bad. I don't know why they thought people would believe that was their building.
I can't believe that.
And honestly, I mean, I know this show is huge, but it had to be our show that cost them to change that because it's like the next week it was different.
Make a little video about that if you still remember which episode that was. We first looked at it where we showed it.
I'll have to go back and find it.
The original one compared to when they changed it. It was like, what the fuck? Because they did it like right in between that week.
They did.
Really too much. Too easily. Like no way.
It's gotta be. They have to have been like, they're making fun of our website. What do we do? I don't know, Bob. Change it.
Yeah, change it now. Oh shit.
But I appreciate it. Shout out to Runner. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Tom, for coming on. Hell to everybody in the chat. Corley Rogue, Tyrell72, HVP, Night Owl
on the thing now.
Bright Boards, Random Bread Creator, Seika. I hope I said your name right. Stan Lee, everybody that was there. If I missed you, I apologize. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for everybody that watching. Check out Tom's channels, Midnight's Edge After Dark Radio. Check out the He-Man retrospective. It's great stuff. Check out some of my videos. Check out the link at the top for you guys on the chat.
They really snazzed this website up.
Did they bring it up real quick?
They really did.
Let's see it real quick before we go.
Here, I'll share it. It don't look shabby as it used to do. They must have hired somebody to come on and fix it for them. Because it actually looks like a really nice website now. See, they got all their partners down
here.
Look
at this. That is very different than it was.
Oh yeah, nice.
See, I bet you're getting more business now, Mill Creek, thanks to us.
See, here's the company page now. Yeah, here's their news page now. Look at all this stuff.
Nice.
Looking sharp there, Mill Creek. You're coming up in the world.
I dig it, Mill Creek. See, we helped you. You.
Maybe not, but who knows?
And Sean, thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate it.
We'll take credit for it. Fuck it.
I'll take credit for it. I'll do it. It's some I'll agree with 100%. It was my fault on my stream.
I don't live that far away. I'll go take a visit. Y'all invite me up.
I think that's what did it. It was like you said, I'll drive up there and see if that building.
I'll take fucking pictures. I said I would, dude. I'm like, fuck it. I'll find a day. I'll go up there. I mean, I technically can't drive legally in Minnesota, but y'all don't know that. Shit, I said it live. No. It's a stupid long story.
Yeah. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Like I said, check out Tom's channel, my videos. And if you're interested, please click on the links I have in the description for In Search of Tomorrow and Mental Health and Horror. Because if you like those documentaries, you want to get in on it, it helps support my channel. So check them out. Appreciate it. And you know the rules around here. You know what we say. If I can always find the clip, because I can never find it right off the bat.
Just leave.
Exactly.
How you doing? Bitches leave.